Right then guys, welcome back to the CoR European Showdown. It is the final day of the lower bracket and we're going to have 8 more teams joining our finalists tonight. I'm joined once again by Mr. Baxter. Mr. Zab, how are you doing, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, really good. Looking forward to these games tonight. Really exciting last night, so just hopefully we can get another 4 good games in for some of these boys and see which 8 qualify for the finals.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we've got the same 16 teams we had yesterday. So who, really caught your eye yesterday, or who are you sort of wanting to see a bit more from?
Definitely caught my eye yesterday. BHE thought they looked really good, especially Zen King. I think he's second on the Twire, I think, at the moment as well. So really impressed with him yesterday. Marcos from Aguita, good, another player, done some really good plays. And the team that I'm rooting for, I always like to root for BT. I did that yesterday, so I'm hoping to see them remain in that top 8 tonight as well.
Yeah, it'd be good to see them just continue that. After that win they got. It's BHE sort of giving it away a little bit at the end, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought BHE were going to clutch up there. I think it was, who was it, Clifton, maybe Larry? Yeah, I think they were going to clutch it up, but I think BT got a really nice revive there, didn't they, on Donny when he was down in the field. Really good revive and actually ended up paying dividends and then winning the game. So, yeah, like I said, really looking forward to see how they get on tonight. And yeah, can't wait for the games to start.
Yeah, we're going to be going into game number 1 in just a couple of minutes. We're starting off on Miramar this time, 2 Miramars and then 2 own goals to finish. We do have Genesis have dropped out, unfortunately, so we are down a team. Yeah, hopefully it's not going to make too much difference to these teams because there's still loads of points up for grabs for them.
Yeah, so looking at the first flight path that we have then, I guess, in game number 1, we're going down from the prison all the way up to Campo Militar. So again, quite a nice flight path for a lot of these players. A lot of these teams are going to be able to get mostly to their preferred drops. There'll be a few areas that may be a bit harder to reach, but it'll be interesting to see how many teams drop out at Los Leones yesterday, because that was a very packed spot for the first Miramar. So we'll see if there's a lot of teams there again today.
Yeah, I like a lost fight. I'm hoping we see some action now. I saw some of the drop spots for PCL, which obviously going to be coming at the weekend. It looks like that's going to be a bit of a contested area as well. So yeah, hopefully teams can sort it out now rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a few teams heading that way. CE, OMG, both heading that way. Whether they'll both reach that far, I'm not so sure. But it'd be interesting to see if they do opt to take the fight through. But obviously, CE, a team that we'd probably expect to be in that top 8, aren't actually in there at the moment. So, going to be interesting to see what they can pull out tonight and see if they can actually get into that top 8 to qualify for the grand finals next week.
Yeah, it's been very sort of hit and miss. Of course, they were in Monday, Tuesday as well, weren't they? And it just didn't really go their way then at all. It's not as if they've had really bad games, but it just has not clicked. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I think it is just the way, isn't it? You can't always guarantee those games, and it's that's why these teams are in this lower bracket now.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's also like a mental side of it as well. Obviously, they were in the upper bracket. They are yet to qualify, and like I said, the extra games, you're thinking, are we going to qualify? Like we're playing these games, we're not getting the points that we need, so it does start to play on your mind as well.
Yeah, completely right. You don't want to really be playing 4 days in a row, do you, if you can help it?
The first circle was posted then. Looks like it's going to be a northeastern, circle. A lot of teams outside of the circle, moment, but you've got to look at Aguita's position. They're going to be very happy with that circle.
Yeah, they really are, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them sort of pull down straight towards that sort of roadside, the old crossroads there. Within a couple of minutes, try and secure their space. I'm sure Skyline probably with a similar thought here. What are you sort of looking here? Are you looking north of that road, or are you banking on that southern shift?
It's a tough one. I mean, I would personally go for that northern shift, but you just never know. Like, especially with these circles these days, anything can happen. But it will be really interesting to see. Obviously, just on that road, there'll be a lot of fighting on that road because obviously there's a very sharp cliff edge, if you like. So a lot of teams do sort of opt to play that sort of area and try and get some rotation kills. So it'll be interesting to see just how this one develops.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, and I'm hoping we get a nice. I'm hoping it's just centres up on that road, and we have that just trench in play because it always seems to be horrid. Always seems whenever I'm casting, it goes that way as well. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, definitely. F2S as well. Then they're going to be really happy with that zone. Obviously, they're in El Azahar, not contested off the drop, so they've got a lot of room to manoeuvre and find probably a position in the circle that they would really like. which is really nice to see. Been really impressed with Gregory as well, one of their players. I know they picked him up
Yeah.
probably earlier in the year, I think now, but a really good player and has been doing really well for the team.
Yeah, they do have a really solid roster, and I'm surprised, they haven't done a little bit better, as you mentioned, but, I'm sure we'll see them start to stretch out. You remember after day one of Monday night, there was a lot of teams down in that second side of the leaderboard who was a bit of a shock. Of course, WC, Dub Hub are right down there and, really pulled it back in the last day. So, this is where the consistency, I think, starts to show for some of those teams.
Definitely, and I think like a lot of the teams have got to remember as well, right? Like just because you had maybe not the day you was expecting yesterday, and you may be on that lower bottom 8 teams in the lobby, there's still 4 games. There's still 50% of the games left, so there's lots of opportunity to get them points on the board and to get qualified for the grand finals.
Yeah, you're completely right, and you're sort of looking at the point cutoff. I think we saw about 36 on the upper bracket, and I think if you can do sort of 4 or 5 points a game, you should be all right. One win with 5+ kills will probably cement you at least if you're on that top side already. So we're just going to have to see how these teams play it out. But yeah, a lot of teams will be disappointed with themselves. I think GTS definitely one of them after their performance yesterday.
Yeah, I think Viri came in a little bit clutch at the end and actually stopped the team getting a team doughy in the final game. So he saved them a little bit. But no, they'll definitely be looking to improve today. I did notice a roster change, actually. I think Dins has come in today. So he's swapped in for maybe Eddie, I think. So we'll see how he gets on. He's a bit more experienced to the team, especially on the comp side of things, I think, with Dins. So hopefully he can rub off with some of the other players and they can get some points together.
Looks like they have an engagement with NE straight away, actually, on this western side, on the shift in. Clown carring it a little bit, so they've got to be careful here. They don't want to risk this. Luckily, they are in the Morado, so they can probably just get away from this if they want. But NE are chasing them down, recognising they've done a bit of damage, and Bolby and that are coming straight through here, but this could be risky because the pull-up is straight on. They're looking the wrong way, though. Looking at Azai, and yeah, they're going to get caught in the back. Pures and Bolby just send 2 of them straight down.
Really nice play there from Bolby and Pures, and GTS just didn't expect it. Dins and Philic then still behind the car, opted to try and get some utility over. Dins takes the next knock as well, and it's just down to the last member of GTS, and it is Philic who does get found there from Azar. I don't think they're quite expecting that pull-up. Really, really nice play there from New Era, and that's 4 points early on the board for them.
Yeah, maybe we just jinxed them a little bit there. Unfortunately, GTS, not a great start, but yeah, NE will be buzzing for that. Getting a few points really early on, it really helps you, don't it? Just keeps you hot, keeps you fresh when you get those early kills.
Definitely, and you've got to look at the leaderboard as well. New Era currently sat in 11th before those 4 kills, so they are much needed points that they'll be looking to get into that top 8 position. Like I said, like you just said, I think it was a bit of the caster's curse. We was just talking about GTS and how we think they might have a better night, but they've still got 3 games left, so still plenty of time to try and get something to work out for them.
Yeah, they still have the time indeed. Looking elsewhere, teams now on the rotate. BHE leaving it a bit late to rotate. Kind of, it's been their sort of MO for a lot of the games, to be fair, leaving it late to come out. But actually, towards this T-junction, as we said, it's actually Skyline who've moved in here, and they're going to pay the price a little bit here with the push in. Hacker all on his own to do something. He's got 2 members to deal with. Berkey has been found, but I don't know if you can get rezzed here, really.
Yeah, I mean, Harry talked about this yesterday. When you're holding these compounds in these 2-2 splits, if you get a team where they fully commit to the crash, which MW have, it can prove costly, and it looks like Skylinks and Sticks are going to try and provide some sort of cover for Hacker, try and keep him alive. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get the res Milky Way here on Berkey. Sticks does find the desert.
Yeah, really good stuff from that hillside, and that's what you mentioned. The line of sight you get from these hills is just massive in these kind of fights as well. Benzo driving over, but I think it's too little too late now, unfortunately. Been on the outside of this fight for so long. Straight through there. The garage is open, but he's getting tagged in the back in return. Agueta now piping up. They want to get involved in this, recognising there's blood in the water here.
Nice little molly there from Skylinks, and it's got Husky on fire, and he's going to get knocked to that Molotov there. So it is just going to be down to Benzo then for Milky Way. Skylinks in the compound, Sticks providing that cover, and Benzo's going to try and get across the road, but I don't think it's going to be much longer for this world. It's where he's going, and there it is. It's actually Tritoon then taking that kill away. So not the start Milky Way would have wanted in this game.
No, really not. When you see as well, they're literally an 8, so they're in by the skin of their teeth at the moment. One bad game you can't really afford at this point. You've had your day yesterday. You have to get those bad games out of the way now, and you've just got to play consistently, and that's not a good start for them. They're going to be worried, counting the points now, because there's a long way left in this game, and a lot of teams can get ahead of them for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they did pick up a couple of points, but like you said, it's not going to be the amount that they were looking for in game number 1. Teams then starting to rotate into circle. It looks like most of the teams are pretty much there or thereabouts. BHE opting on that northern side coming in. But yeah, we look forward to see this shift. I don't know if it's going to go north or south, to be honest, at this road.
It's going to end on the road, honestly. I'm calling it now. Harry will be in chat, he'll be shouting at it. He knows exactly where this zone is going.
A lot of the teams are banking on the southern shift here. There's multiple teams that are playing on this southern side. So it will be interesting if it does go north. There's going to be a lot of rotations and a mass migration, if you like, from the south. So that could be quite interesting. Looks like OMG then are looking to rotate. Got to be careful. If they rotate too far, they might find themselves right in a sandwich between GT and BT here. And the shots are starting to come out then from GT. Nothing quite connecting just as yet.
White's heard this car though, he's straight up here. He's just preparing himself. The car just keep rolling past. Shots onto Loran. A couple connected there, but not really too much. Now the rest of OMG just funneled in between the rest of the BT players here. They're down to 3, but if they can get the shots off here, OMG could really be in trouble.
And OMG are going to commit to this then, Trike. Going to get caught out in the open. They do find him. Warrior with the and the confirm onto Trike. Diablo has pulled up onto White. White finds Diablo in return, though. I think Donnie's actually helped him from across. So, bit of a weird crash here from OMG. They kind of all seem to be pulling up in different areas.
Yes, it's not like them at all, to be fair. Maybe recognising that BT were on the hillside, maybe thinking the compound was free, but they just are overwatching this, as we can see here. Loran making his way up the hill, and I don't think White really has any idea. He's kind of let that car go, I think. He's not looking this way at all, and Loran clearly knows that White's here. He's going to continue this push up here, but yeah, it's one of those weird areas where it looks like there's more cover really than there is. All these open areas. But as we said, GT was shooting this way, BT as well. It's never an easy crash, never an easy rotate at all through this area.
Yeah, I think Law has just heard White's footsteps above him. He's got the ADS. He's taking the shots, not quite finding the shots, and he's not going to get that knock that he's looking for. And he's going to get shot in the back. He's going to have to try and aggress onto this now. Then he does take the shots, finds White. And Donnie, unfortunately, is in no position really here to help White out.
And just like that, BT, down to 1 and with nowhere to go now, nowhere really to play, just going to have to back off from this completely. He's going to move into that compound, probably going to bunker down there for most of the game, but it's not an ideal position to be in this early on, especially as they've been a 3-man. I think they're 3-man for most of today as well, so yeah, they're definitely going to struggle with the rest of this game here.
Yeah, fortunately for them, they did obviously get that win yesterday and get a few points, so they have got a little bit of leadway. I think currently 9 points going into this game, into the top 8, so a little bit of leeway, but it looks like GT then got a little bit of a gatekeep maybe on QP as they're rotating past.
Yeah, 2 off the bike. That's not ideal for QP. A couple of new members in today. I think Spare jumping in, so down to 2 already. Again, not really what you wanted, but they are about. They're in the zone. At least they've got that working for them. But you called it, didn't you? That the push just from all these teams in the south. BT pretty much gone. QP losing 2. Poor kind of on foot making their way in, but everyone else really congested now on this south side.
Yeah, so we did get that circle did post, and it did go north of that road like we did expect. So like you said, the migration of teams, they're all trying to find something in to play really. I'm really interested to see how GT get on in this one, because obviously they're taking this wide rotate out wide. Obviously yesterday we saw them rather split at times, but they seem to be playing really close here, and it's just paid dividends there with a couple of knocks onto QP. So nice to see them try and play a little bit closer together today, and hopefully that will be consistent, I guess, through the 4 games.
Yeah, completely agree. It's one of those zones, isn't it, where you can afford, especially when you've got those bikes and that, the 4x4s, you can really afford to just trek around the side of the map, hug the walls a little bit, and really find a position around the north, because it does pay off for you, as you can see. They're going to find a nice little position with a lot of teams already in here. F2S got quite a big split. I wonder what you think about this one here. 2-2 sort of positioned across this no man's land, really.
You could even argue it's a 2-1-1 at times with where Gregor is, and I think these sort of splits are really beneficial, but there's a really depends on how long you hold it for, right? It's
Yeah.
really it could be detrimental if you hold that 2-1-1 split too long, and someone wants that compound. And we spoke about it yesterday. If they identify that in that compound there's only 2 players, they're more than likely going to crash that. So you've got to be really careful you don't get caught out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And when you're looking at, especially with this zone, 2 pretty high priority positions here, or 3 you can say. So yeah, they've got to be careful. But they are obviously very seasoned, and yeah, maybe this is a zone where you think, is it time to tighten up here?
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if they didn't maybe go down onto Anthology's position. I guess it is the compound that is rather central, very hard to push as well, but being that it is very open around them. They could even leave Gregory up on the hillside, but he's decided
Yeah.
to come back into the compound. So, yeah, really smart play from them, I think. Not outstaying their welcome, if you like, on the 2-1-1.
Probably going to get backfilled by Dig there, or someone, potentially BHE, maybe looking for that position as well. I wonder if anyone is thinking possibly about Elazar at this point, because it's obviously a tricky one to get out of. Not really the best of positions, but it looks like actually Skyline are coming off that road and trying to make it onto the south side. It's a bit of an interesting push here.
Yeah, Skylink's taken down really low there by Denny. And I think Denny might get a few more shots on him as he's driving down here. He's quite low, might just about make it to the compound. Looks like he is. But yeah, a lot of these teams, then they're going to try and find a rotate now. Just be interesting to see where they actually play, because like I said, there isn't much hard cover, if you like, in the zone at the moment.
No, there really isn't. And CE bringing the vehicles down, but maybe a bit of a send onto that hillside. Wouldn't go amiss here. TDT have just posted up just north of them. They're continuing up to that shack, you'd assume. Don't want to risk it going too far in here, but for the moment, they do have a spot. But Agueta are lurking, and yes, CE are pushing across the road. Let's keep eyes on this, seeing how this goes. I think it's only Skylinks behind them now, to be fair. Of course, the last member of BT as well. And I wonder if, maybe CE are going to turn their attention to those shots, seeing if they can isolate this member here on the south side.
Yeah, I like what they did there. They only had one vehicle for the 4 players, a clown car, but they didn't over-rotate. They just got themselves into zone, got themselves into a nice position. And you often see teams maybe drive a bit too far and lose players because there's all in one vehicle. So really, really impressed with that.
Yeah, really good stuff. TDT continued this rotate though. They've actually pulled up onto that position F2S were holding on the hill, and I really like this spot here for them.
Yeah, you can see a lot of the circle from this spot up on to where Yeezy and Manu are looking at, and obviously they've got. The only thing that does concern me about this is the OMG where they're based at the moment. If TDT don't have Overwatch over this ridge, OMG could quite easily walk up on them later in the game, so they've got to be careful of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Sticks and Skylin's obviously very split now. We're seeing Agueta just moving out of the compound a little bit. They've got to be careful because any have backfilled into them. They're out of zone, but they do have line of sight, and Lizard is spotted straight away, and I don't know if they're going to be able to get the smokes out in time here.
Yeah, it's a really good find there from Eni. Maybe a little bit too aggressive from Aguita. They have got the compound. They didn't need to extend, but obviously, like you said, like placement points aren't always massive. Teams do look to try and get those kills, and obviously knew that CE were on that ridge, but unfortunately didn't pay off this time for Aguita.
No, not at all. There's a nice little Mark 14 baiting these teams out as well, but that's just in no man's land here. I don't think anyone really can get that.
Skyline playing the 1-1 split. Skylinks did just take down Jay actually on this side of the circle, so interesting to see if they actually do regroup at all. I think it'll be very difficult at this stage in the game with 2 teams in between them both.
Yeah, I think you're right, and you're looking at the teams here, CE and OMG. I don't think they really have anywhere to move. CE know that Eni obviously took one of them down earlier, and Skylinks has returned the favour a little bit there, and I think they're hunting for him. But OMG, surely they're going to have a tough time coming out of the gas station here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one because it depends on what this circle does. I've seen in the circle a lot of the time in ranks really hug this ridge line that CE and OMG are playing. So you might even find give this southern shift and keep them in a little bit longer. But yeah, it will be interesting to see just how this one plays out. Interesting to see what Poor do from here. They're in El Azahar at the moment. Haven't really spoken much about them so far. They are a 3-man. Interesting to see how they manoeuvre their way into circle, if at all possible here.
Yeah, it looks like they've been walking their way up, but we can see Manu is looking this way, clearly knows they're around here. Maybe he sticks his position as well. Yeah, seen the car. Sticks is in the vehicle now, and it looks like he's actually driving into the town. So Skyline EU just going to extend this split even further by the looks of things.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the play was with the car there. I'm not sure if he was trying to take the car further or he just opted to leave it there. But yeah, they're going to run into each other at some point. He could actually catch Poor in the back if they're not careful.
Yeah, you got QP around here as well, obviously as well. But yeah, Sticks, Poor obviously clearly no idea that he's here for sure. We saw Poor take a lot of shots onto TDT, so trying to hold them back a little bit. There goes Skylinks, he is finally found, so they will be down to one man. But yeah, Manu watching this side, clearly aware that there's players down here, and he's doesn't really have the support from his team. If they were to walk up here, you know, Poor a little bit disconnected, and they've spotted Sticks finally, but yeah, Poor have been allowed to
I don't think
get
they've
in
actually
here.
spotted Poor.
No.
I don't think TDT have spotted Poor. I think they're going to walk up this ridge for free. You know, you've got to be careful. QP spare on the other side. If they go too far right, you might get angles, but they could actually get up on this ridge for free. They know Sticks is there, but they don't know Poor a bit close by.
Yeah, and I think we see TDT regrouping a little bit here. This would be go time for OMG. Of course, they're not going to have this knowledge that we have here, but you know they do have a good shot, if any, now to really get up there. If they start to hear the guns, I'm be reckoning we'd start to see a move here. Oh, Sticks.
Oh, it's a huge nade there from Sticks. Then, not what Poor needed as they're trying to make their way into circle. They actually might get the revive if they can get the smokes out, but as you can see, TDT are coming down on the ridge side above them. They know they're down there. They're throwing the utility down. They're going to try and clean them up as soon as possible. And it looks like Jubbly's leading the charge here. Gets angles. Good shots down from Yeezy. Finds one. Jubbly can't quite connect there, and TDT actually Manu's gone down to Sticks there, who's deep in blue. So they're not going to be happy with that one.
Oh, especially when he just instantly dies after that, you'd be fuming, wouldn't you? But yeah, I think
Not.
here comes the nades, but is that going to roll? I don't know if that's going to go far enough there. It could be a little bit too far, unfortunately, just overcooked. But Doc's coming right down with the util. Surely that's going to find him.
Could be good. I think it's actually just past them. There we go. Finds one, and it's just Marshall left, and he really has no chance. He's on fire. He can't even ADS. And that is Poor wiped out from TDT there. Down into the top 9 teams then. Circle has posters, and it has hugged that ridge line like we did mention.
Yeah,
so CE, OMG, they still have a bit to play with down on this southern side.
Yeah, and TDD's position here now coming in clutch a little bit, finding Walshy getting the steal on that as well. QP live to see another day, but F2S watching this way. GT trying to hold them out as well. I think we lost Dig as well. I assume that's BHE picked up them.
Yeah, I think that was a fight on the northern side, but BHE got to try and rotate in then. They've got a few vehicles, so they've got the opportunity to get in, I guess. Lots of ridges to play. They've just got to bide their time, try and scout, see if there's anything available for them. But lots of shots coming down, and it looks like QP are actually going to crash right onto TDT here. Kyle Lad found by Doc. Spare does find Doc in return, but the trade comes out from Yeezy. It's a really, really good trade there from TDT. They should be able to get that revive.
Yeah, a little bit hungry for the thirst, but when you got your teammates on point, it doesn't matter at all, does it? Actually, keep eyes on this. GT have pushed right into Larry's position. He's going to go down. Kaneki instantly going to go for the first there. The rest of BHE are moving in, the last 2 members, but GT are on this rig as well, watching in, and he finds one. The instant return is there. He's going to get instantly flushed out. GT are now swarming from the north.
They're getting a lot of pressure down from Aguita, though, down onto GT. Taking shots down on Solus, down to a 1-shot in blue. He's actually found there from Tritoon. Just Townie remaining then for GT as he tries to progress into the shack, but AG are going to make the same crash, I think.
Yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair. You know the smokes are up. In fact, I think they're just rolling in a little bit here, but the nades could be perfect if they've got the util left at this stage. Fuji's coming around the side. Townie, obviously very focused on the compound right now, isn't looking behind him, and surely he's going to get spotted half health already, and he is going to get found down in 8th, placement point. Not too much else for GT in this game. And again, one of those teams who could do with some points.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they got a couple of points there maybe, but just looking down on this south side, looks like CE got a little gatekeep on NE here. And yeah, I've got to move into zone. CE are just about holding zone. Might actually force NE into the back of Aguita here. Yeah, looks like Bolby is going to definitely walk into Tritoon very shortly.
Yeah, the rest of Agueta see him in the map there, just spun round, recognising this team is the bigger threat than the solo in the shack. They're going to try and stick this up, and Pures is disconnected, of course, watching CE, making sure that crash doesn't come in. But, they're preoccupied with OMG, so we're not really going to see them around here. But it's a 3 versus 3 on this side. But yeah, both teams just waiting for reinforcements a little bit here.
Yeah, and Blue is slowly going to be pushing them in any second now, so they are going to have to find their way into zone as well. They're not going to want to be fighting for too long. They're going to want to try and clean this up rather quickly, you'd think.
Yeah, completely agree. OMG have finally made the push up on the south side though, and CE are looking to pincer them a little bit here. The nades, the util just not far enough at all. OMG really don't have the knowledge about where these guys are situated. It looks like both teams think the push has come out. Actually, they're playing relatively defensive for the moment. That one could be nice if that hits. Rolls under the car, a little bit of damage to Thamer there, but not enough at the moment. And yeah, CE, when you oh, Greggy with the car. Oh. I did think that was going to go there.
Yeah, and even then, didn't even think it would knock him, but it has found the knock, and CE might aggress onto that now. But as you can see, TDT here as well, going to pincer from the east as well, so OMG got it all to do.
Yeah, especially with NE moving in the back as well. CE need to aggress if they want this. The res has come in, the smokes are up, but there's Pures in the backline. Finds Scrub, and I don't think this res is possible. Another nade from Yeezy onto Thamer. He goes down for the second time. Warrior's going to try and stick that as quickly as he can. But this one from Yeezy, if he hits this nade perfectly, it could be spot on, and it is going to do so much damage, but not enough, really.
No, and CE actually find themselves wiped out there from New Era. They bought their time. They didn't take the fight earlier on. They came off the fight and actually then tried to attempt a third party onto CE. So that really worked out in their favour. They're now getting shot from everywhere in the circle, NE. So they've got to try and find their way into the zone, as OMG is still getting naded by TDT.
Yeah, the util just not good enough here, unfortunately for them. Haven't really isolated these members. We see Doc shifting down the south. He's had a really good game so far. 5 kills on the board, surely going to be 6. Does get found by Thamer there. Going to look for the thirst as quickly as he can, but Yeezy pops up round the side and finds him. The smoke once again out. But TDT, you're having a really good game here.
Yeah, and they've got to be careful. Bolby with the nade does confirm Doc. So it's just down to Yeezy and Jubbly now for TDT then. After losing Manu earlier in the game, NE got to try and see if they can get TDT out while they've got the numbers advantage, if possible. But shots coming down, nothing connecting just yet.
No, and Yeezy just so isolated down the south. I don't think they're even aware maybe that he's down here. Bolby taking some shots now. Oh no, actually looting up. He spotted him. Maybe not there. Get away with his life a little bit, but there's no really aggressive util coming out. It's all flashes, all smokes. They don't have much left at this point, unfortunately, with so many fights. Yeah, they have spotted Yeezy there. Pure's going to find him. Shoots. Gets shots in the back from Bolby there. Not ideal. And Agueta thinking maybe this is time for us to pounce here. And they're just going to backfill into NE. Just what they did to CE here.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll see Agueta actually push over this ridge. It is very open. They don't need to. They've got probably a better position on zone than NE. You'll probably see NE sweep the east side, get the last remaining member of TDT. But, I mean, I can't see anyone but F2S winning this game from this position currently, you'd have to say.
Yeah, you mentioned the cross to get back to 4 strong in this position, and it is really strong, and this is where it really comes up. The only thing, if Agueta can get under that ridge and, in that sort of bowl bit under the compound, maybe they're being with a good chance here. You do see it obviously pull out eventually, so potentially it looks like Pepiugi leading the charge in the vehicle, but F2S, they've got the util to work with. You've got to assume they have not taken many fights up until now.
Yeah, 100%. And we're just looking on this south side. Jubbly's actually just taken down Bolby and Pure, so he's got himself a 1v1 against Azai here. As he reaches the ridge, and it is Az gonna find Jubbly. A really good little last stand there from Jubbly. But Agueta did actually steal... Oh no, they've just killed Az, the last remaining player, so it's just down to our top 2 teams now then. And like you said just previously, they've managed to get onto that ridge, and now it's going to cause F2S problems if they have to leave the compound.
Yeah, they've probably got the vehicles to work with. It looks like they're maybe going to opt to play in the south side here. I don't mind this at all. Of course, Triton is on the angle, looking for a similar thing, maybe expecting that push. Now this south side is clean. They can really start to stretch their legs and make some moves here. But yeah, he's maybe a little bit preoccupied, maybe thinking there's a snake somewhere here. But, maybe one going to zone there has thrown him off a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I don't think he spotted these two members, Kaimi and Greggy, on the south side here. But yeah, zone has shifted and actually gifting F2S in the compound here.
Yeah, really, really nice zone for F2S. I think they're going to do well from this position. Kayumi, he's got to be careful here, though. I don't know if he's where Tritoon is actually out on the far west side of the circle, so he's got to be careful he doesn't get picked, because if he can stay alive here, he's probably going to win the game for F2S.
Yeah, he's got such a good spot. We can see just eyeing up Pepeugi. As soon as they have to come over that hill, and they will a little bit, they don't have much room to work with at all. Surely, you know, he's going to be, if anything, just giving those calls to the rest of the team where they are bunkered up. But, you know, if he can count, if he gets his fingers out, he's going to know that there's a member missing somewhere. Surely going to find him, and Triton just going to continue this push round, going to continue to look for the angle. But yeah, he has been spotted. Ruguoy now opens up onto him. Few warning shots going in, and yeah, now Triton's been spotted. He's going to have a hard time finding a way into this zone.
Yeah, and I feel like if Aguita were going to win this game, he had a big part to play, especially against a four-man. But if they are going to be too strong, it is Pepeugi and Patuboka, and they've got Grozer in hand on one of them, so anything's possible, really, with those sort of guns.
They really, yeah, absolutely. You know, remember Guetta F2S, they haven't taken many fights, as we said. The util is coming out. Triton just spraying down onto that rock a little bit. The smokes are out for him. And they're maybe trying to isolate this player. And it's a smart idea as well. Pepeugi's got to make sure he doesn't show his head here, because Guguy and Arminius, they are so close in the grand scheme of things here. Just obviously can't get the angle. And yeah, Komi just playing a bit defensive. Got that smoke wall out for himself. Just provide himself a little bit of cover. I'm interested. Anthology's been very quiet in the north here. Maybe just expecting a push here. But yeah, with Triton gone, surely that's going to give room for F2S now.
Yeah, you would think so, but Pepeugi's got a really nice wrap here into the compound. He's going to be greeted by two of F2S here. Doesn't find the shots he needed. Arminius goes huge, and it's just down to Pataboka, and I think F2S now are going to swarm onto his position, you would feel, and I think it's going to be an F2S win.
Yeah, GG's just like that, as you said. As you predicted, F2S sent it up early, and 5 kills. I said, a win and 5 kills would be a good game in the grand scheme of things, and it has been a really, really strong start for them.
Yeah, obviously they did get a bit of the circle favour, but there's a difference between when you get that circle favour and you throw the game, or actually executing a win. And right there, you saw a really good execution. Didn't get all the kills. You don't often do when you're gifted the zone, but they executed that final phase to perfection, not losing a player, and picking up all the kills on Aguita.
Yeah, and not getting hungry, looking for kills. They could probably have easily pushed onto TDT when they're on that hillside, southeast of them. But just playing smart, playing for that win, and a few kills to go with it. So yeah, GG's to them indeed, and that will really help their chances. But yeah, we'll take a short break, be back with game number 2, our final Miramar of the lower bracket, in just a couple of minutes. Right then, guys, welcome back. Game number 2. The plane is in the air, and our second and final Miramar of the day. Here we go. Talk us through this plane, Zab. What are you looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of southern drops in game number 1. So a lot of the teams maybe not going to be able to get the drops that they were going for in the first game, especially the teams that we're looking at over at Los Leones. So already see CE going in a different direction though, heading up towards Torremada or Cruz de Val, which AG did occupy last game and are going back. So interesting to see just what CE do here, if they opt to go over or take the fight.
This could be an interesting one as well. I thought previously CE, a bit of an Impala team, maybe thought they'd maybe stretch for there. Seen them do that before, but yeah, it looks like they're coming down straight on Agueta and really going to split him here. You know, when you're that team who is hot dropping someone else, you do have that advantage, don't you, to really just split them and, you know, gang up before they get there. And it looks like Triton already on the run, not going to loot up here, going to try and get back to his team. And it's, you know, very, very big split from Agueta here in the scheme of things.
Yeah, really good from CE as well. They've actually picked up the hard spawn, so they've got the car bit to be able to rotate out, which you'd think Aguita, being the main drop, you'd think they'd have someone going for that car.
Yeah.
No one even seemed to look interested. I don't know if there is a second spawn potentially available. Can't see anything. Well, I see a truck actually, but again, that's right next to CE. Or is that? No, that's not even a spawn. So yeah, I'm not sure Aguita's play there, but interesting to see how this develops. I don't think there will be any fighting. It's quite a big area. They'll probably see them go their separate ways. But if you're Aguita here, I don't know about you, but would you maybe try and fight this? Try and protect your drop if you like?
Yes, I think you would have to a little bit. Bearing in mind they've got obviously no knowledge of who this is. You know, you don't want to just roll over, even if it's a team who's here just to steal points of you. You know, they're probably thinking, you know, maybe this is GTS, someone right down the bottom who is here just to cause a bit of an upset potentially here. So, you know, maybe in that sense, maybe actually you would want to get away, but, you know, you cannot give your drop, especially, you know, if this is a team who are going to qualify. You don't want to seem weak at all, do you?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm AG here, we're top of the leaderboard pretty much, and probably will be straight after that game as well. So, in my opinion, I think just take the fight, put them off, make sure they don't come back, and they actually are getting a bit aggressive. Pepe might be able to see Peak shortly. I know Tri-Team would definitely be able to hear the footsteps, and it's probably given some information out, but Peak is in the building next door, so going to be interesting just to see how this one develops.
Yeah, this is a bit of a weird one by CE. You know, Peak has obviously run straight down there, getting very aggressive, hunting that member, obviously seeing him maybe run off there, but you don't want to get too overconfident here. And yeah, Peak actually has spotted Pepe. No, he hasn't, no. Looking completely the wrong way, but yeah, CE very disconnected for the moment. You know, knock comes in, that's pretty much it. You're down a member already, and I don't think they're really in a position to lose members this early on.
Yeah, no, 100%. It does look like they're maybe, I don't know, I was going to say disengaged, but I've just seen Peak there pick up a micro Uzi, so he's maybe looking to get aggressive onto this. But the circle has posted, and neither of these teams are anywhere near the circle. It is a southern circle, so they do have to move. So if they're going to fight, they're going to want to do it pretty sharpish.
Yeah, Peak spray back onto Patu, top of the hill here. He's taking some shots down, and he's just clearly playing that Overwatch position. You can see, you know, why these positions are so good. These splits coming out, got a few eyes on him. The rest of Guetta are ganging up. So yeah, it looks like this fight probably is going to happen. CE disconnected from their vehicle a little bit as well. So yeah, Greggy yet to join the fight, but making his way down towards Peak here.
Nothing quite connecting there from Patu then onto Peak. Pepe on the roof, still not going to get an angle worthy of taking any shots just yet. No. And you probably have to argue CE. We're probably going to try and rotate away from this. They have got their car. You'd think they'll do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah,
I get the feeling here. I don't know about you, but I get the feeling Denny's trying to tell the guys that he wants to leave. He's sat near the car, but Peak's not having any of it.
Yeah, he's first one to leave the party, is he? Straight in the car, just beeping the horn, wanting to go.
He's got to be careful here. Pepe Uji's just creeping up on him. Sorry to cut you off there, but I think he's just about to peek up and potentially get some kills out of this car as well if they go for the pickup.
Oh, has he not heard him there? He's maybe heard him on the other side of the building. He's going to pop his head up and over, but this nade could be perfect on the run as well. down to half health, not enough, and he's just going to continue to try and get away from this. Needs the help of his teammate Droideka, and CE, you can see, instantly regroup Scrubs off though. He doesn't want anything to do with this. So it's going to be a 3-on-2 a little bit here. Lizard's got the angle with the VSS, but I don't know if he can really do much from here. Oh, Clever usually gets caught on the railing, but just about makes it in time. But they know they've done the damage. Denny leading the charge. Can be careful because the other member is trying to watch him here. Surely he's not going to be expecting him on the roof there. Does trade out a little bit damage done, but lovely shots indeed here. Greggy, that roof. He's going to get found as well. It's not going well for CE here.
No, it's really not. And you've got to question what Scrub's doing. He's literally running the complete opposite way while his team's taking a fight. But Triton goes huge for Aguita anyway. They find two, Denny and Greggy. They're not getting revived. Peak's down to half HP, and you'd think Aguita might even swarm him and get the third kill. I can't quite understand what Scrub's doing
I think he's lagged out. He's looking the same way. I think he's... possibly. We'll see. You know, maybe it's one of those scared, just get away. Call the lag out, Blake. Get the excuses in now because it's not working at all, is it?
Yeah, it looks like he has DC'd. He's now standing still as he's loading back into the game by the looks of things. So that's really unfortunate there for CE. Losing 2 off the rip. Peak is trying to get away with his life. I don't know if he'll survive on this rock. I don't know if they'll come this far out, to be honest, to look for him or not.
Scrub's making his way back in as well. Could be a saving grace here, to be fair, or maybe at this stage. Do you come back for the fight? I know it's a bit of pride, and again, you want to take that position back, but he's got the red dot on his gun, on his mini there. It's not ideal at all, and Peak has found one, but he's getting swarmed, and yeah, instantly return there. No chance really of the res coming in for Scrub, but yeah, I think maybe just cut your losses and go for placement here. Don't leave it late at all.
Yeah, it's still early in this game, and like you said, as a solo, there is still the opportunity to pick up some vital, possibly much-needed points, especially for CE, who are one of them teams that may be near the cusp towards the end of the night. So, you know, you've got to try and survive a little bit longer if you're Scrub here, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you have to. You know, a long way to go as well, trying to get into the zone as well. But it's one of those where you can rotate round, you know. Teams coming in here, F2S, they've been travelling all the way down from Elazar. OMG making their way in from El Pozo. Interestingly, BHE landed in El Pozo as well. We haven't even talked about the rest of the zone yet. We'll get back to that as teams centred up already. Yeah, but BHE, obviously seen QP. We saw some shots raining out, but now thinking it's time to move. So yeah, an interesting late one there. But you know, as we said, you can afford to leave it a little bit later on Mirror, can't you?
Yeah, definitely, really can. Looks like F2S actually have lost 2 here on that southern rotate that you just mentioned. Looks like GT had set up for them as they drove down this road, and they did lose 2.
Yeah, I like that play by GT as well, because yeah, you were expecting those teams coming in late, coming around the edges, and yeah, it's paid off from GT there. I don't think they were far ahead of them, to be fair, just made it down onto that road. But yeah, Townie set up nicely on the bridge, sort of scouting that area, and yeah, a couple of points, and F2S aren't going to give this up just yet. That win, of course. We'll be looking to put some more numbers on the board here.
Yeah, not quite sure they're going to get anything out of this one. Looks like GTR just about going to be able to get away and rotate towards zone. But yeah, F2S losing too early in game number 2 after that win in the first game. So not quite what they'll be looking for. Looks like a lot of the teams, though, centred up around Chumacera sort of area. I'm guessing they're expecting that pull to come up to that northern side.
Yeah, it's very congested around the middle here. It looks probably a lot worse than it is, to be fair, you know, with these ridges in play. Dig occupying that kind of weird position. I don't know really what that's called, but just north of Chumacera there, and GTS clearly having eyes towards them. And you know, GTS 4 up. Let's highlight that for a second. They're in the zone. Got a little knock there as well with the overwatch onto that position. And yeah, a bit of a split for the moment, but they are pulling up and they are comfortably inside the zone with still a lot of teams actually to come in from the north. As you can see, Agueta only just driving in from Cruz de Val now. Scrub's on foot, so I don't know if he's going to have any chance really of getting in. We'll have to wait and see if he can find a vehicle. But QP, still with a way to go as well. It looks like they're without vehicles as well. I don't know what's happened to BHE here, but
I know I saw QP get a knock on the as they were driving past BHE, so they're getting knocked. So I don't know if they're just getting that revive there, but I'd like to go back to GTS like what you just mentioned. It is nice to see them 4 strong. Obviously, they are literally bottom of the leaderboard at the moment. So if they can get a good game here, it really will put the pressure on the teams above them to before. But as you see that circle shift, teams that banked on that northern shift, they're gonna get it. So a lot of these teams are actually already in the circle.
Yeah, that's really good for some of these teams, and you wonder now how some of these teams play this because, with loss on that eastern side, it makes it difficult to really rotate round there. Same with Chumasera being on the south side. So you're looking at these teams down the south, OMG, GT, BT. Are they really going to send it in, or are they just going to play up onto the edge of the zone here? F2S clearly on the move. They want a better position because have not been in a good spot here. But yeah, teams without that scouting ability, really, apart from GTS, Dig, as we can see, all sending it towards the same sort of position by the looks of things. Could be maybe a bit of a cluster on the south side here.
Yeah, it's always tricky to traverse the south side of this map as you're coming into zone. You're coming in from the low side of the map into the high ground, so a lot of the teams can just look down on you as you're rotating. Looks like GTS are taking a few shots though as they take the compound from Dig, but nothing really doing. But yeah, as you come from that south side, like I said, it is quite high, the ground coming into this sort of middle area up here, so you can't really. It's hard to scout, is what I'm trying to get at, I guess.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's not ideal for some of these teams. It looks like Skylynx has to be careful here. Another bit of a split from Skyline, which may not pay off. Of course, there's only 2 members of F2S to deal with here, but I think he has the... Oh, no. They have heard each other. Arminius puts a few shots down, but doesn't have enough info, really, to get aggressive just yet. Going to wait for his teammate, but just going to back off in the meantime and not overextend here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's actually got a vehicle here either, Skylynx, so he's going to have to try and foot it down back to the team, but they should be able to... Yeah.
Brave.
Yeah, they should be able to provide quite a bit of cover from Rainbow, to be fair, so he should be alright. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for from your team, isn't it? Just to be able to, be confident in their shooting ability to provide yourself with a bit of cover to get back over. And, when you're playing like that, when you're playing free from that sort of worry, then you're in a good spot. And yeah, Skyline clearly comfortable with each other. Saying that, I mentioned no one's going to rotate through loss. GT just proved me completely wrong here, and I don't mind this at all, actually, because they're taking this so wide, but actually it is really going to pay off for them here.
Yeah, nothing in Los Leones, and if they keep going a little bit further north as well, they're going to get a really open piece of zone, and it's quite high area up on there, so they can look down on a lot of the zone as well. So a really nice play, nice RGL there from Walshy. Just hope they can keep the 4 boys up and together once again in this game, as it did pay off last game. They got a little bit further into the later game, a few more points.
Yeah, it's a really good spot, and you mentioned, they can really shift in here. Agueta now finding their way in. Pepucci leading the charge, and BHE, they back up to 4 strong. No, they lost one to the zone, I think, just outside, but have been walking in, but can actually probably get off that hill quite nicely. With Apollo, the only member in Picardo, if anyone's scouting this, they'll see that as a, free real estate at this stage.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what happened to Poor. We didn't quite see that, but they obviously must have lost 2, I guess, earlier on in the game.
GT, yeah, I think it might have been GT. Let's have a look.
Yeah, so just Apollo left though, but yeah, like you said, Picardo is quite 3, but again, you're expecting that shift off. The circle is about to post, but I think it's going to come south. No, it goes north, so Picardo's still in. You cast his curse there. You say what you think it's going to do. It's going to do the complete opposite. And you know what's really good here? This little ridge just to the east of where GTS are sitting right now. That ridge in there is a really nice little spot to play. You can get a lot of sight lines onto a lot of the circles. So it'll be interesting to see if any teams maybe try not to play that.
Yeah, it is a good spot. TDT obviously down in Church in the south side, but so far off you wonder if they will have eyes this way. Dig are back out in the vehicles though. They're having another crack at rotating here. Where are they going to try and post up? They could maybe want to jump into Skyline's position here, but actually no, if they keep going here, they could have a really nice central spot if they just keep the pressure on, keep moving in here, because I don't think you want to be stopping on top of this hill. GTS clearly could do well from here, but when you're rotating in between teams, I don't know if this is a good pull up here.
I mean, this is literally the spot I just mentioned here that I think is quite a good little area, but it is a bowl and you can hold it down quite well. But yeah, you're not gonna get any new loot from here. So if you take a lot of damage on your armor, you're not going to be able to resupply yourself. You haven't got a compound. You're playing open area. You're not going to be able to replenish any meds. So, like I said, it's one of them places that you might get a few zones out of, but you may not be able to peek too much or take too much damage because ultimately you're going to lose your gear.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, looking at GT, you can see the smokes from here as well. See the util being burned as well. QP and NE. I haven't even mentioned them in the south, but we're going to stick with this GT fight just for a second. So it looks like GT are wanting to aggress. The rest of Agueta coming in a little bit too late here, unfortunately. In fact, actually, no, maybe we should go down south because it looks like everyone is kicking off. I think QP, yeah, just getting picked apart by NE and PT joining in as well. But Bolby all on his own left to do something for NE, so not ideal for him either here. He's going to try and rotate away. And QP just left inside the blue. They do have the vehicles to work with. Going to make their way around as well, but yeah, not great at this stage, losing the members there so far out of zone.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why they had the fight there. I don't know if it was something that they maybe planned on, but definitely a detriment to both the teams. They're both going to lose members and going to be weaker going into this later stage of the game. But it looks like Agueta and GT then really going at it. Lizard does find the knock onto Siolis while she's already down. It's just Lizard up for Agueta. Kaneki's got to try and do something, try and stop that push, trying to allow for the revives to come through, and is doing a brilliant job at that right now.
Yeah, one back on their feet there, just backs off a little bit. Just stay out of line of sight from that window of for those doors, and they should be fine. They're going to get all reses here. By the looks of things, unless that utility comes in, and they're just going to bide their time. They know there's only one member left. The reses really aren't possible for Agueta at this stage. Lizard putting the smokes down, come around this side. Lovely tags onto Townie. It's not going to be enough just for now, just alerting his position. Now Kaneki is moving around the north here. They're all going to try and push up, and we can see them swarming here. And surely Lizard knows his days are numbered, and yeah, there we go. Clean as you like. GT really playing well there, and keeping it all four up is really good stuff here.
Yeah, taking out number one in the leaderboard at the moment. 6 kills on the board for GT as well. I really liked how Kaneki held off that push there. There was 2 knocks in the warehouse for GT. Townie was playing the res, but Kaneki stopped Lizard from aggressing. So really good plays from him. They managed to stay 4 strong, and they've got a little bit of zone to work with now as well.
They really do, and other teams now just coming in, driving in. TDT going to be sending it straight through, very close to Skyline. They've got to be careful, especially when you flip the car, but actually Dig helping them out so much there. Finds sticks through the window. Shane solo that he's going to have to med, and this has just allowed TDT the push. Absolute team in here. This is fantastic work from Dig and TDT, but yeah, it's really allowed them time now.
Yeah, and Jubbly does find Hacker then. He gets the trade. Just Skylinks up on this outside wall. Doc's going to push around the side. Skylinks does find him. He gets the second knock. Really going huge here for Skyline. And he finds Jubbly. Not quite. Manu's going to try and get the trade. As he pushes around, then he's going to see... Oh my god, he's got away with it. Shane's not actually seen him there. He's going to get the reses. No way do they get all these reses here.
That could be a lovely nade. Oh my beautiful. God. Doc just
Shane going for the squad wipe. Oh my god. What is going on? There's teams crashing in. The nades are coming from BT, and OMG are now sending it across as well. They've seen the knocks. They want a piece of the action. We've got 4 teams here on these little compounds. Knocks on either team, and both teams are actually getting the revives here.
This is huge. If TDT can get both these reses, that is massive. Skyline, both members knocked outside, so no chance really, especially with OMG swarming. Sticks his position here. Diablo cannot see the not member there through the smoke. Fully focused this way now. Going to steal these away. 2 kills for him on the board. There goes Skyline. And amazingly, they had the upper hand in that fight, but just the third party, the fourth party, made it so difficult there. And yeah, both teams now probably confined to their buildings. You'd think TDT and OMG probably not going to stretch too far out just yet. But yeah, really unlucky from Skyline.
Yeah, definitely. They got really lucky. Unlucky there, should I say. But looks like OMG are actually going to aggress onto TDT here. They're getting the nades through the windows. I'm not sure if it's good. It's huge. He gets 2. Doc and Jubbly both down. Yeezy down to 30 HP. And OMG are going to swarm him here. Looks like he's about to be found. It's on the outside. There's actually a bit of smoke there. So they can't actually see him. It's going to stay alive just a little bit longer here. Not quite on fire.
Molly just buyed him a little bit of time, to be fair. Is he out the back? Yeah, he's just come out the back here, just playing in these smokes, doing all he can, just holding that doorway. Diablo clearly watching this window, but clearly do not have enough information here really to get aggressive. OMG just waiting around, waiting. Oh, that could be lovely. Nade goes in. Easy's lost his vest though at this stage. Not much to work with at all. Just going to keep popping this util through, and they have no idea where he is at this stage.
No, they really, really don't. And I don't even know if they know how many are up, because his Slowly walking in here.
Gonna pop around the corner. You just you don't want to risk this corridor yet, do you? Heard one in the north. Oh, and that's lovely from Warrior. Clean as you like. Gets the job done. Wonder if maybe BT, would you have wanted to see them maybe push across on this?
I was looking at it, but there wasn't really. I don't know if they would have seen the OMG crash, right? They saw them get a knock on the pull up, and they probably would have read the feed and see that no OMG members did get knocked.
True.
So you are pushing into a straight four-man, so that might be the reason why. But yeah, it would have been nice to see, right? Everyone wants to see them crashes. But looking at GT, then looks like when that fight was going down, they were actually picking up some more kills. They're on to 8, so they picked up an extra 2 kills here. And like I said, they've got a really nice piece of zone as well.
They do. Townie's got to be careful though. He's looking for maybe a bit of a overextension here. Poor is still alive as well, just about. BHE making their way from them. But yeah, GTA, you mentioned that hillside, they're kind of moving their way in. They have that room to work with and finding one of FSS as this zone is condensing down as well. Don't know if there's going to be much chance of the res, but BT thinking this is the time to move in. Maybe realising that OMG have shifted in as well. But you've got to be careful here. You can't lose members really with OMG split.
Definitely, and BT does get found by Diablo.
Is Donny,
He's the only one left in the compound.
Oh, I was going to say, how has he not found them? Diablo, surely neither player really had the comms to work with.
No, I'm not quite sure why he was still in the compound and the team had already rotated out, but they've lost a member. They're down to a 3-man now. BT gonna get back up to 3 strong. This Pato looks to be doing some damage to F2S. Does find Arminius. Kaneki finds Anthology, and that's them out in temp, so no placement points for them in this game.
No, not a great game, unfortunately for them. GTS have jumped across of OMG though. They've got to be careful because Dig are still 4 strong, playing the edge of zone, but they still have the compound to work with, and they're really confined here. But it's OMG once again in the spotlight, finding these BT members. White is taking a bit of blue here. It's going to be raining shots down through the smoke, I think. And Donny's just off on his own round this side. Looking to get any utility he has left to try and slow OMG down, but it's really not working at all. White found from the window, and now Donny really has his work cut out here.
I'm not quite sure how Warrior didn't see Donny get to this position, but he didn't, and he's going to catch him off guard. Surprised GTS aren't maybe aggressing onto this after seeing these knocks, but they're opting to play it safe for now. Donny's going to get some smokes out. Going to see if he can find any more members of OMG. Got to be careful, some utility coming over. Nothing quite connecting with Donny just yet, but Blue is on his back. He's going to have to move very shortly. I don't reckon he's got much life left to live.
No, not at all. GTS, we can see Viri here. He's wanting to get aggressive. He knows there's kills up for grabs here, points up for grabs, and you know, they have that cover to work with a little bit with the smoke behind him. Just going to pre-smoke again, just to provide some cover from Dig, and Philic doing all he can as well to just hold off the push from them a little bit. So yeah, it's somehow working out from GTS. Luckily for them, it's only Benzo up this hill behind them. I think GT probably going to realise this soon and probably fill into this position as well. But yeah, for now, these solos and these bit parts of teams on the side can let these fights happen. They've got the time to do it.
Definitely. Just got to point out here, Milky Way Benzo's sitting pretty in the middle of the zone, in the compound, just solo, just having fun. No kills on the board for them, but he's happy.
There we go. Loran finally does find him. Pato goes down as well, so BT do get a placement point, and now GTS are pushing up. They've got the smokes out. Fizzy was found as well by BHE. They recognise they have time, and Pato did find one actually in the end, and GTS finding the other. So 1 kill on the board, a couple of placement points as well going their way, but they've got to try and jump across in front of Dig here. And now we're seeing these contested areas. I think Apollo has been spotted, and GT really have a free walk in on this left side now.
Yeah, they definitely do. They're going to walk up and they're going to just get into the compound, you think. GTS actually taking a few shots down onto Dig, actually, on the other side, on the western side. Getting a couple of knocks. Yeah, they're going to get those kills. Benzo actually knocks Viri, though, from the centre compound. I quite like how he's just sitting in there. He's been sat in there for quite a while as well. No one's seemed to challenge this centre compound at all.
No, it is a weird one as well. You know, we look at the teams here. Obviously, GT with that massive wrap, BHE sort of almost walking into zone. obviously don't have too much knowledge to go off here. Benzo's continuing to look towards stuns here. He's going to get a nice headshot on him there. Unfortunately, the Mini not doing enough damage. Must have been a couple of arm shots there or something, but yeah, now he's up and moving around. He recognises he can probably find some points here. Maybe get some scabs off BHE, maybe off GTS on this south side as well.
Yeah, we mentioned it earlier in the game with Scrub and how he was a solo early on, and he opted for the different sort of play to what Benzo's done. He was a solo early on as well, and he just found centre compound. He stayed alive. Yeah, he's been gifted a little bit of zone, but he's got himself into top 4 position. That's 4 or 5 points for the team, you know? It can be such a big difference in these sort of lobbies just to try and stay alive, even if you are a solo.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're one of those teams who, when you're coming up against these massive heavy-hitting teams, you are going to steal the kills, get these points on the board, like GT, 10 kills on the board, 3 members up. Getting those placement points is a really good, viable source of your points. It doesn't matter. Don't be embarrassed even if you can't put up the kill numbers as some of these other players, because if you can get yourself comfortably into that top half, then that's all you want to do at this stage.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And it looks like GTS trying to hold off GT. Fury's actually lost his helmet, but GT going to play the compound, so GTS have got to try and manoeuvre their way in somehow. They've got a little ridge they can use on the west side, which I think they'll possibly play. But again, BHE there got the tags down. They're actually gonna deny any option for GTS to go north, if you like. So they've got to try and fight their way in somehow.
Yeah, BHE given the zone as well a little bit here. I think GT are going to have to come off that hill, and Veery doesn't even need a hat on because he's fine Sulis there, and I think that's second bleed already by the looks of things. So yeah, he's going to start chunking down. Veery going to get the confirmation on that, and they're pushing up onto this building. They've got to be careful. They push this right, that Molly goes straight towards him, just backs off a little bit in time, looking for the head of Kaneki there. Walshy doesn't have much util to work with as well by the looks of things. And yeah, they're just going to sneak around on this windowless side. I like this play, really like this by them. They're actually going to find themselves in the zone, and they could actually leave this compound completely and maybe opt to play around on this eastern side a bit now.
Yeah, the knock on Cialis there was huge from Veery's. Really, really big plays. He's coming in clutch once again for GTS here. And they could potentially get even further in this game as GT actually walk off the building and find Benzo. Taking good tags down onto Walshy.
If he bounces this right, this could be a perfect nade.
Oh. Not sure how that's not knocked him.
No. I think the med just in time potentially there, but yeah, bit of 3 gear on Walshy as well, potentially keeping them alive. But yeah, now they know Benzo's here, but he is wanting that fight. He's not going to lie down and take it easy by any means. The Molly back up the stairs towards him. But it's one of those where you can hide up here. You do have a few different positions to hold. It's not ideal. He's going to spray through, finds one straight away. Surely going to get the flush on Walshy. A little bit too aggressive. The push wasn't there from his teammate to help him out. He has been isolated in that room, of course. But that's taken down so low on Larry. Larry pops up.
Really nice play from BHE. Nice zone coverage. They knew that they were fighting. And look, if you look at the spread that they've got, it's really nice. And Stuns is going to catch GTS Veery in the side. And that is surely going to mean all guns forward, if you like, for BHE now. As they try and push onto GTS as they get the res. And that nade could be huge. Oh, it's actually a stun from Stuns. And there we go. Clift does wrap on that right side and picks up the remaining member of GTS.
Yeah, BHE timed that perfectly. GT, clearly opting to play a bit more zone there, moving forward, and ultimately they're down for a little bit. But yeah, BHE, not a big game. And to be fair, looking at that first circle, BHE walking in the middle of blue, miles out, I would not have put them as the winner, but you get a couple of favourable shifts, as you said, and you're going home with a nice 16 points there.
Yeah, really nice game coming out from them in the end. Really good wrap on that final circle. They knew that they had a lot of zone coverage and they just played it really well. And shout out to GTS as well there. Veery, really nice knock onto Solis to get them into the top 2 as well. So really well played.
Yeah, BHE, you can't fault them at all. Playing maybe a little bit quiet in the north there towards the end of the game, but as soon as they isolate those players, recognise where they were, they started that spread, and the push round from Grizz, was massive and really, really allowed them to get aggressive and just flush them out. So yeah, GG's to them. Very, very important game. Only 6 kills, not massive, but yeah, you'll happily take a win there for sure. So Anyway, right, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back with our final 2 Erangel games in just a couple of minutes. So don't go anywhere.
How many kills did GT have there?
At least 10. So yeah, guys, welcome back. We're going to be going into Game 3 in just a couple of seconds, but let's have a quick look at the leaderboard just to update you guys. Exclamation mark leaderboard in chat if you do want to get an up-to-date tracker as well. But yeah, BHE we mentioned there with the win. Of course, one more game to go on here. BHE having 16 points there, so going to be bumping up over that 50 bracket. You said surely they'll be safe there, but QP actually surprising. I didn't realise they were still so high up there. Bearing in mind, it feels like we haven't seen much from them certainly today.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of their points come from kill points. I know they picked up a lot of kills yesterday, so that's just keeping them, as maintaining them in that top three right now. So they'll be really happy with that. Obviously, remember the aim of the game at the moment is just to get into that top eight. So as long as they do that, that's all they'll matter.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy. And yeah, you mentioned getting the kill points. They are probably a very kill-heavy team. I think they'll probably say that themselves. Very, very strong shooters on there. Just maybe you need to convert it to a few more placement points. But yeah, they will not be disheartened by being a third now, for sure.
Definitely not. So we're going into then our first Erangel then. Actually a really low flight path, so a lot of teams not going to be happy with this flight. Going to be interesting to see just about where actually teams drop, because really there isn't much of the mainland to actually get to. There may even be some people getting cars and rotate that way just to find some loot.
Yeah, it looks like OMG going to take Millie straight off the bat, and I like this, especially when K7 aren't in here. You're certainly going to look to take these drops, and I like these teams who do a bit of research, recognising that there's teams in here who literally, you think of military, you think K7, don't you? So you avoid that at all costs. But when they're in, everyone's going to be thinking the same. So yeah, fair enough. A bit of 4D chess here. I'm just going to take the position straight off them. But you've got to be a little bit careful of Agueta on this side. But yeah, other teams surely going to struggle a little bit. And is this going to be Skyline and BT? Or no, Skyline maybe just dipping over Pachinki a little bit here.
Yeah, I like what you mentioned there about trying to take different teams' spots. And I think that's really important. Because obviously at the moment the aim of the game is just to get top eight. So if you can get a good drop spot just to get some kills in this little lower bracket, then that's fine. Do that. Obviously you have got to be aware that when you get to the grand finals, obviously you may not be able to go there again. But yeah, definitely worth it. But it does actually look like BHE and CE, they're going to go to the same place. Looks like they're not. Looks like BHE are going to take the compounds just south of Georgia Pole. They should be good. So no really contesting off the rip.
Any actually have stolen vehicles away from Poor and Gatka. 2-on-2 there. 2 members miles off. And Poor have to be careful here. Being a 3-man now without a vehicle, Any have a really nice swarm on that position. So you just need to loot up Gatka and get out of there. But you think compounds Any are looting. I mean, it's 2 buildings apiece, really, if that. So I reckon they can probably make their way over here pretty quickly and scout out Poor. And yeah, Paul right down the bottom, and it's really not been their day, and yesterday as well, not having a great day as a 3-man. Maybe need to do a little bit of recruiting potentially, try and get a few more in that team, but yeah, I don't think we're going to see much from this game either by the looks of things.
No, and the circle has posted down into Military Island, so they've got it all to do. They haven't got a car, so I don't really know how they'd play out of here. They have to try and take the fight. If Any don't take the fight with them, then they're going to have to try and maybe do something just to try and find a way out of Gatka. They will be kind of pinned in here. But obviously, like you said, OMG opted for that Military Island drop, and it's paid dividends here.
Yeah, it's perfect, really. Ideally, Agueta, OMG, GT set up nicely. I like this bit of a split from GT 2-2 at the moment, and that's really smart. Bearing in mind, that was straight out of the plane. They're probably looted up, ready to go already. And you think, this could easily have gone north. With that plane being so low, probably were expecting a military or something down quite low. So yeah, really good read on that to keep 2 up. And with Milta to themselves as well, you think, maybe not wanting to take the bridge, but can easily get across on a boat as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see what GTS do here as well on that same side as GT, because obviously GT have got to get across. Like you said, they'd probably take the boat, but there may be some other teams that opt to try and drive over the bridge. So GTS could opt for a bridge camp here maybe as well.
Yeah, I would like to see at this stage, when you got the points on the board, let's have a couple of scrims at the end, see some things, try some things out, hold some teams up, maybe ruin their day a little bit. We'd love to see it.
You love to see it. I'm not sure everyone in the lobby would agree. But no, yeah, definitely. Aguita, I think you could see Aguita do that, to be honest. They're top of the leaderboard by quite some distance. You never know, they may hold a bridge camp here. It's the perfect opportunity for them to do it if they want to.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see teams like Aguita here when they are obviously very clear at the moment. BHE as well having a very, very good day, and you have to question how Agueta really didn't make it into the top 16. I know, it's a lot tougher with those teams in, maybe a bit of a jump up. Of course, BHE been with us all 4 days, the highest team up there who've played everything and deservedly were in that top 16 going into, or top 8 essentially, with the 8 invited teams coming in. But yeah, you wonder how, if these teams do get through, and clearly Agueta, BHE, QP probably are going to make it through. Are we going to see them with a new lease of life coming into next week into the finals?
I think you're going to be coming in with confidence, right? I mean, obviously, whether you played 2 days or 4 days here, if you're ended up at the top of that leaderboard, like you're gonna go in with confidence. So yeah, you'd like to think so. Definitely, especially with some of the fragging that's coming out in this lobby as well. The teams aren't just getting wins with 1 or 2 kills. They are putting numbers on the board when they're getting the wins as well.
Yeah, I'd definitely say this is probably my favourite level of competition, just below the very sort of top EU level that we see, because it does allow these players, teams, you mentioned QP heavily fragging, did struggle a little bit obviously in the previous games, but yeah, it allows these teams to play freely, play their confident style, and you can really see these players on the up and how they're developing and really putting good performances here, despite having some really, really tough opposition to play against.
Definitely, and I think as well for like some of the top 8, if you like, in EU that maybe are already advanced to the grand finals, there's opportunity for them to maybe look at picking out some new players as well for their rosters in these sort of lobbies, because these are the sort of teams that maybe are just below that top 8, so may have the one or two fraggers in that team that could offer something potentially to one of the bigger teams.
Yeah, absolutely. You could almost see this as a showcase, absolutely. And so many of these players are hungry. They're looking maybe for that call up to play at that little bit higher level, to step up into that team that can really support them. Not saying that, of course, any team is underperforming or holding anyone back, but you've probably been in that situation yourself. You want to be the best that you can be, and you cannot unfortunately be held back, even if you're playing with your mates. If you want to be that top level, sometimes you have to burn a few bridges and go a few different ways, play with a few different people. So yeah, for sure, I'm sure there's a couple of players in this lobby who'd be buzzing for a call up to one of those teams.
100%. It looks like actually Ferrypay is getting a little bit stacked here. QP and F2S already here, and 4 might be pulling up as well. So potentially all looking for a boat, or holding out a team looking for a boat. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this one develops.
Yeah, in fact, we do have F2S in one of the channels as well, so we can get comms with them to see if we can get on board with them in just a second.
Et puis forcément, gros, j'ai 0.
Ouais, à ma gauche là, personne derrière
J'ai
nous.
0.
Ah, si.
Ah, ils sont déjà derrière.
Un instant.
Il y a du monde Primorsk aussi.
Il est au hangar? Je crois que sur vos. Ah, tes points verts. Ok, flash.
Ça part.
Backé.
Un mec,
Ils ont pris le bateau les deux.
Ils ont pris le bateau. On peut back, je pense, les gars.
Vas-y, on avance.
Ils ont dit prendre le bateau, l'autre. De toute façon, il va falloir prendre le fight, hein. Ils vont être derrière nous, les gars, je vous le dis. Faut pas nous lâcher. Ouais, ça va, c'est mon court push derrière.
Je me souviens.
Now we are not having quite the angle to really punish Paul there, unfortunately. Almost playing on the back foot a little bit, despite having a bit more zone control. But yeah, they are just going to back off a little bit here and maybe set up for that engagement. But yeah, as you mentioned, these areas are getting hotly contested. BT in the north going to be looking for that bridge as well, maybe looking to hold some teams out. But I think probably the last team we're going to see here, and it's almost Pirates of the Caribbean over on this western side of the water now. 3 teams, CE, QP and TDT not far ahead of them. This could be an interesting scrap.
Yeah, actually, and these boats don't have much health either. You get a few tags on them, and it's actually literally boat wars here with CE and QP. A few tags coming down really nicely from QP. Getting a couple of members of CE low, and there we go. Specky does find Peak, so that's him going to be down and out. But yeah, the trade's coming through as well. A few tags coming through from CE. Nothing quite, but that boat from CE does not look like it's going to last much longer. It is smoking for CE, so they might have to bail out that soon. And there we go, there's another. Major Girth does find Greggy. Just Scrub and Denny left, but they're both so low here. And they're going to try and pull up, but the boat's about to blow anyway. So yeah, not the best rotation for C just there.
Not at all. We're just picking off one by one, and luckily you can get the reses now. Greggy actually might be resable here if they're quick on this. I don't know if he that's a good 50-100 meters to swim. I'd struggle with a couple of bullets in my torso, but especially with the ferry
I'm not
coming
quite
past,
sure.
might slow him
I'm
down.
not quite sure. I think especially with that backpack, I think I'd be sinking to the bottom of that water.
Is he going to drive into this? Is he? Oh no, further off than I thought.
I think they'll probably. I don't know if they'll get this res. It's gonna be close, that one. Marshall though does find Anthology on the northern side, and actually NE have pushed in on this as well, Matt.
Yeah, it's a smart. NE just grouping up as that 4. Tracker rocking what is it? The DP. Get the job done, and 4 kills on the board for Paul. They've got to be careful because NE are pushing here. Marshall taken so low. Tracker as well there. And he's surely going to capitalise. They know they've got the chance. They know who this is. Tracker up. Going to find Pure straight away. Surely going to go for the first one to him. And, where's this Paul been? We've been slagging them off, but here they are. Turning up when they need to. Finding some points on the board. They'll be happily taking some points. And I think, actually, NE, look at them on the map. They've turned their attention back behind. Azai all on his own, because BHE are the next contender. They're looking to backfill to 4th party this fight, essentially, now.
Yeah, and it's absolutely huge here. It looks like in the kill feed, Greggy didn't actually manage to get revived, but like I said, Paul, if they've got 5 kills on the board now as well, if they can make this into a 10-15 point game, then that really does open it up to the possibility of qualification just from that last game alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And bearing in mind that all these teams here are at this stage, you've got to cut your losses and just go for the fights, go for these points. And BHE, clearly scrapping NE. Poor, sure, actually, they are moving into zone. Probably going to hear NE shooting the other way, recognising maybe they do have a bit of time to move, go for zone. But yeah, could easily have just waited out a little bit and looked to find some more points. It looks like they probably are going to be swimming in BT. I think BT actually have spotted Poor on the rotate here as well, lining them up a little bit. Yeah, they've got eyes on the boat. Keep eyes on this. It's going to be massive. Poor obviously spotted the boat, but all of BT are just absolute laser focused on this boat here. Straight away, couple of shots coming off. Oh, they're going to get away with it though, unfortunately. Fortunately for BT. Very lucky indeed there, but yeah, can get across quite easily now, to be fair. And they do have a lot of room to play with on this northern side.
Yeah, everyone seemed to rotate away on the northern side, as you said. So, like I said, they're gonna be all right here if they can just get out of LOS from BT, which I think they're just about going to do. They're going to be quite well here, and I don't know if there's any more boats. Oh, actually, BT have got a boat under the bridge as well, so opportunity for them to get across easily. But obviously, the bridge isn't being camped anyway, so.
Yeah, and you're looking at 14 teams up, but we're seeing 3 scrapping in the north. We're seeing QP and TDT scrapping in the south here as well. 3-4 teams in the base as well, which is unusual. But bearing in mind this zone has sort of centered that way and probably is going to continue to pull back. That's not a bad little spot for some of these teams. Milky Way 4 strong in the middle this time. I don't have to rely on Benzo to do his job. And GT just going to continue to pull into the sort of main northern side of the base here. Quite like this by them. Yeah,
it'd be interesting. This next phase is really going to tell us sort of where we're going to be looking to end this sort of game. Because these ones can pull south, they can pull north quite easily. So interesting to see where this one does end up. And as you can see, BHE still really far in blue with NE as well. It looks like they're disengaged on the fight that we was speaking about a moment ago.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, just cut you off. Watching BT as well, it looks like they've actually pulled up. I really like this play. They're scouting. They've gone across the bridge almost to chase down Poor. They know only 2 got in the boat. They know they're only looking for 2 members. And, bearing in mind, they know they're on foot as well. They really do have the upper hand here. It's just whether they can isolate the members, because Marshall hasn't left that beach yet. Tracker pulling back down. I wonder, I'm not too sure quite what's happening here, but maybe recognising there's kills up for grabs in the north. But look at that shift. That is disgusting. Zone 3. Fucking hell.
That is right down south. And QP are absolutely laughing. They've got this compound for free. But actually, BT, Donny and Trixie here, they might actually get a little... They've got 4 people coming across the bridge here in a car. They could get a couple of kills here for free. But BHE actually have pulled up. I'm not sure if they've spotted them. Well, no, they're actually just taking some meds by the looks of things.
He's going to keep driving by the looks of things. He's got to be careful here. Donny switches to a solo already, stunned straight out of the vehicle, ripped to pieces. Beautiful stuff from there. BT finding their first kill on the board, and they know where these other members are, and now BHE know they are here as well, but BT are set up very nicely. The Blues pushing BHE in. They haven't really had that time to med yet either.
Yeah, and it kind of is a little bit of a disappointment for BT there, I think, because obviously if that first car had come across, they may have actually had 3 kills, but the solo buggy coming, they kind of lost out on the 3 that they potentially could have had initially. But NE as well, you got to look at they're at the north side of the bridge as well, so they're still trying to work their way in as well.
Yeah, it's just third party after third party. BHE had the upper hand, but Larry's got to be careful here. I don't know if he's actually... No, he's going to go for the drive. This could be a very good play, actually, because BHE, recognising maybe the stairs isn't the best case. It's one of that, you know, you bait the team to go down the stairs and then you go back across the bridge, potentially. But, yeah, not bad. BT are just going to get away from this, though. They don't want to wait here too long. Recognise that, you know, if they wait this out, there's a good sort of 6-7 kills here up for grabs. But, you know, smart play to just choose to go for zone here.
Yeah, definitely, and I think we just missed out on TDT getting wiped, but SKEU then having a fight with AG Pepeyuji. Looks like it's just him on his own. Don't know if it was a misplay, maybe on a rotate, but he's been caught out. Yeah,
BT going to steal that one away straight away. Unfortunately, Skyline couldn't get that one. Yeah, Agueta had a very big split there, across OMG BT's position. Looks like they've regrouped just inside the base, and with that shift away from water going to happen, it's not bad at all. But I love how these teams are playing. It is one of those zones where you do have to play a bit of the open areas. I'm liking Dig's position a lot, especially, you know, are getting peppered from QP, who have a really good spot, as you mentioned. But yeah, you know, the likes of them, GTS with pretty much nothing to play there, MW as well, GT. I mean, the way it stands, OMG and QP are the only teams in buildings. Everyone else is outside here.
Yeah, and this sort of zone, if it does shift south again, which I think it might, it's just going to make it even more favourable for QP. I think you can even get on the roofs as well in this compound. So they're going to have a field day, you would think. NE are still so far in the blue on that north side. They've got to make their way in soon, because that is going to chunk on this when this phase touches.
Yeah, they've got a couple of vehicles, couple of tyres between them, unfortunately, but it's better than nothing, to be fair. Bolby, I think he's going to go down here. Unless he can get this med off, yeah, he's going to go to zone. And not much they can do really with that res, but yeah, you know, wherever they try and come in here, it's not going to be ideal. QP just keep inside here. CE sneaking their way in. Is that 2 members left? Yeah, unfortunately, didn't get either of those reses coming in on this south side. They could actually backfill Dig really well here, and I wonder if Dig will be aware that there's another team on foot going to be sneaking in from the south coast.
Yeah, they might not, and Scrub and Denny could really cause them some problems if they're not careful. Looks like NE have been dismantled by the blue. They didn't quite make it into zone. Left it a little bit too late, I think, without a vehicle. But yeah, CE really could cause some issues to Dig.
Yeah, we see Velton here with Baltic here just trying to scout the compound a little bit. It's not there you need to worry about at this stage. Compound is outside, and CE have found themselves in. Of course, they're not going to get too aggressive just yet, you'd imagine, you know, caught in between 2 full strong teams, and you can hear these shots coming out, so they're not going to be over-aggressing just yet, but they've got to be careful because BT could be looking to backfill on this western side. They're on the move once again. They've not sat still all game. They've had to move, they've had to rotate, and they're going to continue past OMG. And it does get very tricky once you go past a few teams because your vehicles are damaged. You know, a lot of shots themselves, and they're going to get ripped out the car straight away. White surely going to get found as well any second. He's really low himself. But now Dig need to regroup and see using maybe this as go time as well as OMG pipe up and find Velton from range.
Yeah, really unfortunate. They had a nice little split Dig, but they've been caught off guard by the pull-up from BT. I don't think they were expecting a team to pull up there. I mean, why would you?
No.
But they've been caught out. They're not going to get the revive. CE going to try and scab away a couple of knocks if possible, but not going to quite get anything. Girth does then scab Velton, and Trixie does get confirmed.
Yeah, and this is where QP's position comes in clutch because, you know, they have line of sight done this. BT just back in the cars again, trikes off. And I don't know, can you really rotate any further? You've got to go so wide here, but Scrub is around this position. I'm going to go for the nade, and this best player, unfortunately, rips one out the car, takes Trike down to half health as well, and Denny's going to find him. Beautiful plays. CE, surely got to confirm his kills as quickly as they can. It's all on White now, but, you know, he is just get an Aggie. He wants revenge for his teammates here. He's not even worried about bolting up near him here. He wants to get CE out now.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. Bolting is right on him with the Vector as well, and he does actually find White. So C probably going to get the revive. But I must admit, that's really big points for C, because obviously they're down the bottom of the leaderboard. So they're going to need all the points they can get if they're going to have any chance in the final Erangel of the day. It'd be big if they can get this revive and try and get into zone a little bit further.
Yeah, and Dig's keeping 3 strong as well. You know, take nothing away from that. Of course, did get helped out a little bit by the other teams around them, but that's what you do in that position. You allow other teams to help you out. You rely on them to provide a bit of cover for yourself. They are going to be straight in the vehicles, looking for a manoeuvre now, and it looks like they're going to be playing straight into this kind of launch pad area, and I like this play by them. There isn't much cover at all to work with, but luckily they have a vehicle at least. It's better than nothing here.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, there's a little bit to play, but not much. But they've got a nice, strong foothold, and it's really hard to push. Obviously, it's very open around them. So you're not really going to get pushed by anybody. They're actually opting to come away from here, actually. They've decided they don't fancy it.
Fair play, to be fair. You know, you do have a lot of teams still on this south side who could really cause them some issues. Maybe looking for the third member, but yeah, they are in their position just now. They know that it is free now, but actually QP, I wonder, getting in the vehicles themselves, going to be scouting this out, or are they just going to be pulling up on the hillside? Probably, yeah, opting for the hills isn't a bad play at all. Probably the smarter one. Don't want to go blind right into the middle of the zone, but they do have room to work with, and now they're going to try and farm some kills. Looks like the east side could be hotly contested area. M-Way really looking towards GTS, and they're on foot. Really don't have much to work with at all.
Yeah, I think they're pretty much dead to rights, you would think. I mean, like, even if they get away from MW, they're going to be running straight into QP, and here we go. The shots are coming down from QP, and the information has been told. Viri's taken the prone, just about getting away with it. No, he's not. Specky does find that knock. So, yeah, they're in a real tough spot here, GTS, and I don't think they're going to get much more out of this game.
You wonder if maybe the smarter play would be to go round into the north here and just maybe try and pick up some points, because you know, when you're playing on the back foot at range back to the blue, it's not an easy spot to pick up any points at all. They could get the res, to be fair, but you know, that zone is moving in. M-Way on the move though. Let's keep eyes on that. Could they be playing up to the fence? You know, surely not going to be playing too much further. But notice Eula's position here, but Benzo spots him out nice and easy. No chance of a snake there. Lizard from down the way finds one straight away as well.
Yeah, really good there. But Husky's going to have a big part to play here. He's got to try and hold Aguita off the push here so they can get the revive. They're going to stay 4 strong M-Way. So yeah, really big play. Nice little rotate from that northern side. And it does open up the option for GTS now to maybe wrap this way as well.
Yeah, Din's already running. Gotta be careful. Hasn't got any util out at all. And Benzo and Husky just going to punish him indeed. BHG taking members. Iceman on the crate. That is not going to be suitable cover, unfortunately, for him. He tries to move in. Viri maybe looking for the res. Maybe just trying to get some util off his buddy there. And Iceman, yeah, they have maybe timed this quite well, GTS. Down to top 8 as well. So it's just not going to... It's just doing them no favours at all in these games, though, to be fair. They're second in the last game, but... Yeah, I don't think that... Surely they can't get into this zone as well.
I don't think so. Actually, on the south side, Dig are crashing right into QP's position here. They're actually taking the fight to QP, but Pato rips Gazoo on the pull-up. TS14 takes down Baltic, and it just leaves Wizzy now for Dig. I'm not quite sure what the play was there. I'm not sure why they've crashed that.
No, it is an interesting one, and you can see the utility with this fresh team coming straight out of the compound. They have the utility to burn, the mollies to burn essentially here, and just like that, cleaning them up. 10 kills from that compound is massive. You know, having a massive game indeed, and you know, possibly keeping 4 up here. We mentioned, you know, they have been very heavy hitting, haven't had the placement points to back it up, but this could be their game potentially if they can find a spot in here now.
Yeah, we definitely said that. We said they were fragging right before the start of this game, and they're proven at that point as BHE have just been absolutely obliterated by SKEU. But yeah, QP doing really well. I'm not quite sure again on the pull-up from Dig. I don't know if they'd previously got a knock on QP and it was a bit of a delayed crash. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, it did not work in their favour. As QP are now going to pick up some more shots then down onto GTS, and they find Viri. So that's another kill going the way of QP. That's them on 11.
Yeah, very good stuff as well. I think Pato actually has himself in this ridge positioned the zone. Maybe this is what Dig were thinking here, but yeah, for now it's not too bad. OMG finally going to regroup as a 4. They've just sort of bounced between these compounds across the road, made it difficult for Skyline. And Skyline, we haven't even talked about them yet. They must be racking up points. 4 kills on the board as well. 2 tantalising crates, let's say, right in the middle there. Would you risk these? I think they are, yeah. The smokes are out.
I think it's worth it, right? For that 3 gear and the potential of a couple of crate guns, I think they're definitely worth the risk.
Grozer. You can't ask for more really at that stage. Hacker's already got himself an AUG, but he's just going to get himself a new helmet at least here.
Definitely. And looks like Guita and MW then are going at it. Traded in return. Looks like it's down to a 2v3 then in the favour of Mway. Lizard is knocked. The utility's coming out. Nothing quite connecting. Berkey's leading the push. Does find the knock onto Pata Buka. And there we go. That's them cleaning AG up swiftly.
Yeah, this is why you pick the military base TDM for these, this 1 in 100 games where you fight here.
Not wrong, and they've really paid dividends there for MW. They really have cleaned that up fight really quickly and giving them a chance to loot. And they're in zone as well, so it'll be interesting to see where this zone shifts, if it goes north or south of the road, because that will really determine what's going to happen. I guess both sides will just about still be it anyway. Yeah, there we go.
QP.
Just a little bit, but it is gone south, and QP could be racking a 20-kill game here, Matt.
Yeah, this is massive. You wonder how these teams are going to play. OMG, I really wouldn't know how to play this if I was any of these teams, really. Skyline probably going to sneak across the road, maybe play the fence line, but they're going to bump into MW either way. But it's on OMG really having to make the first move here. Do you crash north? Do you send it south? You surely can't go across the middle.
I mean, OMG are dead to rights. They've not got zone. At least Skyline on this side and Mway do have a bit of zone they can play.
Yeah.
OMG, as soon as they leave this compound, I think they're pretty much dead. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they actually do try and do. If they try and get a knock and try and play out from the compound. I think that's the only viable option here. No tyres on the vehicles.
I'm just watching Mway here. I'm surprised only 6 kills on the board. It feels like they've been doing so much more. They've been playing so aggressively, so confidently as well. I just love this position. Berkey's just moved the vehicle up actually, just to provide himself a bit of cover on this fence, just waiting for the rest of his team to do some work. But OMG getting the first knock, and actually that could be a bit of go time. Yeah, they get the smokes ready. Looks like they're going to go for this south side. Maybe QP is the push they want here, maybe realising everyone else is on this north side. And I think they probably are going to time this perfectly, because Skyline are surely going to have to fight Mway here.
Yeah, I mean, even with the smokes, I can't see them coming out on top on this fight with QP. They've just got such a significant ridge, and Pato finds Law very quickly with the headshots. Really nice shots from him. And yeah, I don't think there's going to be much in return from OMG. QP zone with Sean as well. PS14 up zone.
Yeah, the util just raining down. They've got the smokes up, but as you mentioned, OMG just about aiming at that rock. Luckily for them, the north side is just so preoccupied, but the sprays are just fantastic from QP at the moment, just keeping them at bay. TS14's moved into the middle as well. I love this. He's moved into this position, and Styx is actually going to help him out a bit as well here.
Yeah, helping them out, but Mway then forcing the fight a bit onto SKEU. So Skyline got to be careful that they don't get caught out, but there we go. Skylinks does find Berkey on the car, and there we go, another spray. Great spray coming out from Hacker, and Benzo goes down, and that's MW wiped there out down to the top 3. OMG pretty much down and out as well, so it's going to be a QP Skyline finish off here. There we go. Styx does confirm the final member. So it is... Oh no, it's still one up. Sorry, Diablo is still there. Yeah, still Diablo there.
They're probably going to get this res as well, but this is just allowing QP time to move. You think they're probably just going to send this round for that middle. They've got the zone as well. It's going to centre up on them if it does get that far. But they have that bit of hard cover in the middle to work with. Just got to be careful. Skyline don't opt to go really far around this sort of eastern side and wrap them in. Hacker already looking maybe for a bit more loot, to be fair. QP in the vehicles going to be moving in, but they know there's only one member up at this stage. Specky actually jumps out. Not a bad idea. Maybe just leaving someone on the south just to mop things up a bit here. Maybe just play scout a little bit here. Going to spot Shane straight away as he lines up the car coming past. But yeah, Skyline have the numbers, but do not have the zone to work with.
Yeah, I really don't see any way QP can lose this game, but you never know. Anything is possible. If Skyline have got smokes, they can use them to get across that road. And there we go. There's the final member of OMG found by QP. They're on 12. This could be a huge game and win for them if they can hold out. SK do have vehicles to play with, though. Got some smokes. It's going to be interesting. We do love to see a 4v4 at the end.
Oh, we do. Especially when it goes right down to the middle as well. But a bit specky. This could be big as well. Taking a lot of damage, a lot of shots coming back. He's going for the other rock, and Shane unfortunately misses his last bullet, but Skylynx is going to punish him there. He's going to help him out, and that's going to give him time to work with. And this could maybe open up this western side for Skyline to work with. The util is coming out and coming back in return as well. Sticks returned as he hits the smoke. That's really good stuff from TS14 on the side there. The mollies are out. Hacker just getting as close as he can. That could be a lovely nade if it hits. Unfortunately, just bounces off. Gurf takes a lot of damage in return, and Pato finds another one like that. He's doing so much work here. It's all on Hacker to do something. Oh, he gets one though. 2v1. Can they find him? Hacker still low. He's going to find another one. It's all on Pato now.
Huge plays from Hacker. He's picked out TS14 and now going to look for Pato. Great shots down. Not quite getting what he needs for the knock though. Molotov out. Pato 1v1. Here it comes.
Can he do it? He's taken so low. He's got the health advantage as well. He's flashed him. Surely he's going to spot him around the back of the car. Finds him and no. Oh my god, what's happened here? He's going for the punch.
I didn't know what was going on there. It took so long there. He seemed to take so many bullets, but it is SKEU who do come away with the...
Oh, that was tight. I wasn't sure he was going to have that there, but GG's Skyline and QP take nothing away from either team. Massive games all round. So yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Well, OMG 0 kills as well. I thought they did a little bit more than that, but clearly couldn't find anything from their position there.
No, yeah, I definitely thought they had more on the board, but those points could come in huge going into that last game. Massive shout out there. Those got to go to Hacker, right?
Yeah.
Huge play for the 1v3 there at the end. Coming in clutch for the Skyline boys.
Yeah, the rest of his team there obviously helping him out, getting the damage on the board there. But yeah, just cleaning up. Really good stuff from him. We can see the leaderboard. That's obviously after 6 games. Skyline still in 9th. I'm surprised. It feels like they've had a really good day here, and you know that is clearly going to be enough to bump them up. Only 1 point off 7th. So, you know, easily going to get them up probably into that top 4, to be fair. So, yeah, really, really good stuff from them. And OMG's down 11th. It's not really been their day either. Actually, look at this. MWay were down in 10th, OMG in 11th. So both those teams picking up a few points at least. So that's going to help them out. But yeah, QP and Skyline GG's indeed. So we'll take a short break and be back with our final game. We'll see if we can get the leaderboard updated as soon as we can, and just see how close it is and how many points that these teams do need. So don't go anywhere. Right then, guys, welcome back. We're going to be going into game number 4 in just under a minute. It's a massive, massive final game for some of these teams to qualify. Of course, you know, we've had to come so far. We started off, you know, over 50 teams, well over 50 teams. We're now down to our top 24, and of course, you know, we are going to say goodbye to 8 more teams after this as well, leaving us with our top 16 playing the finals over the next couple of weeks. But you know, it's been fantastic. We've seen some of these teams, you know, really come into their own. BHE, you know, I've got to give massive hats off to them, getting into that top 16 upper bracket to start with. But, you know, a lot of these teams have really done so well here.
Yeah, really have. And a massive shout out to QP as well.
Yeah.
Their first leagues I think they've played in, and tonight just alone they're really going in and showing their fragging capabilities. So yeah, no, really impressed with some of these teams. I'm looking forward to see which teams can close out game number 4 and get into the top 8 for the grand finals next week.
Yeah, indeed. I'm thinking we'll have to have a check the leaderboard when it's updated. Dig, the only team from our invited 8 who haven't yet qualified, but I think they are comfortably on that left-hand side. But it's going to be tight going into this game, especially with QP and Skyline, of course, taking a lot of points from that lobby there.
Yeah, definitely. I think before that last game they were, well, no, because that was the Miramar. After 6 they were in 7th. So they're there or thereabouts, but like you said, anything can happen. One big game from a team in 10th or 11th could really upset some teams here. So yeah, it's all to play for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Playing a little bit nicer this time though, going across down from that sort of southwestern side. These teams out early once again, TDT, F2S. It feels like they always seem contesting these areas, and it seems one of those areas you don't really want to be looting if you can help it.
Yeah, definitely. F2S are actually, yeah, like you said, they've got QP on one compound. They've actually got a member of TDT on Arminius' compound. They're actually together here. Jubbly's just holding an angle, but it's not the start that they would want, especially when they're trying to get into this top 8.
Yeah, indeed. Arminius without the armour as well, and F2S having a good run of things so far. We'll have to try and get some more info. Jubbly straight out though, looking north. Arminius surely going to hear this as well. They are going to get the zone, and it is going to be around a BHE once again on this sort of south side. Western side. So not bad little play, not bad little position by them, and no one down on military this time.
No, I really hope with this zone, I really hope we do get to see a bit of an Everest play. Would like to see some of the teams fighting over Everest. Yeah, a lot of teams got to rotate actually. A lot of teams on this east side, of the map. God, neither of us are getting our compass directions right at the moment, are we? But yeah, yeah, hoping for an Everest game.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't seen one in a while. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like it's been a while. It's like easy.
I don't think I have.
Joining the fight here a little bit, going to gang up with TDT to maybe stack Arminius a little bit. And now this is where you've got to be worried. The 1 gear isn't probably going to be enough for your 2v1. You're going to smash the window. I like that play actually. You know, I did read something actually the other day about chucking your pan out the window, you know, picking up the old scythe, because obviously when it hits the ground it sounds maybe a bit like a person, whether they hear that or not. See, but just pre-spraying the stairs, and Jubbly finds him straight away. Fantastic play, and great just to bide his time there and wait for his team.
Yeah, I really like that. I really like the fact that they didn't opt to take the ones. Obviously, we were speaking about it yesterday. You take those ones early in the game and it really is a 50-50 chance. But when you get that numbers advantage, it can really pay dividends, and it has done. There as Gregory opts to drive off just a little bit too late to help his teammate out.
Yeah, I don't mind this by F2S just getting away now. Maybe looking for a position themselves. They've got a good lot of room to work within the zone, to be fair. I wonder if they'd be looking for Everest here. I think probably the best spot to take here, to be honest. You don't really want to be hospital way. Gatka can get a little bit tricky to keep those vehicles safe. So yeah, maybe Everest is the position to play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if I was playing this one, I'd be looking for, you know, the compound of Gatka, North Gatka, people call it. Quite like that compound, or even the 2 little 2-stories, the little orange buildings just to the west of Everest as well. So one of them compounds would be quite nice.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Maybe middle of the field as well. You always seem to find a team picking up some points for that. Even maybe just doing a bit of scouting from there as well.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like a lot of the teams starting to get in their vehicles and maybe look to rotate really want this leaderboard to update so we can see just about whereabouts we are with the teams. But still not updated, unfortunately.
So give us a shout when it does. We'll have a, bring it up on stream and have a talk through. But yeah, as you mentioned, a few solos leading the charge. F2S actually going to be sending it into hospital by those things, or certainly coming over this east side of it. You've always got to be careful, and you don't really want to be taking shots there, especially if you've got a couple of players down on the warehouses. Luckily for him, he has been able to get this quite comfortably, and this is, I suppose this is as central as you can be. Obviously thinking maybe there's a shift or two, especially with that drop. Maybe they know something we don't hear. Maybe it's going to go right over to the island. I don't know if it was you guys. It might have been CC on Monday, actually. You had that really, really westerly zone of George.
Yeah, I did see that game as well. So yeah, it definitely is possible. I think RMV won that game, I think.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But yeah, so I think a lot of the players do that as well, don't they? You seem to, with the updates, you seem to get the similar sort of circles come quite often, so maybe that's what they're banking on here.
Yeah, I completely agree. You do. It does sort of seem, I don't know if maybe it's just the more memorable circles potentially, but it does seem to like to go the same way. You know, you're not really expecting this to go north, are you? Expecting it to centre up around hospital area for sure, as you mentioned. Pull back to Everest, and Sticks, scout for his team. He's straight up there, just running from this eastern side all the way up. And yeah, Deli's asking for some comms, and we know who she wants to hear, so let's get on board with them. It's Guetta, our leaders at the moment. Let's see what they have to say.
Su puta madre.
Voy a empujarlo, voy a empujarlo. ¿Dónde lo tiene?
Aquí, tío, se me ha metido el puto coche, tío. No sale. Sácamelo, por favor.
Venga.
Ahí está.
Vamos a coger
tío.
fotos ya. Que ya viene Tritón. Ya viene Tritón.
Vámonos. Ha servido, el mecánico le llaman al Lesan.
No, vamos al observatorio mejor.
Patata free.
There we are. We'll get our Spanish translators in chat, but it does look like a bit of last game scrims from them, and quite rightly, they deserve it. But looks like there's been some action elsewhere. Talk us through, Zab. What have you seen?
Yeah, I've just been watching this fight unfold. SKEU actually crashed in on Paul and actually took 2 knocks, but Tracker's come and traded all 3. He's knocked Skylinks with a nade, took out the ones with Shane and Hacker, and it's now just down to 1v1 with Sticks if he can't get this res or not.
Yeah, BT backfilling into this as well once again. Can we look to punish Skyline? And actually, Sticks, if he doesn't time this right, could be running straight into BT if he does get the nade off in time. Oh, that's lovely down there.
Beautiful nade.
Yeah, there he is, found in the back, and BT probably just going to continue this push, surely. Do they know they're underground here? I don't know. I've got the intel.
Don't think they do, but they're going to shortly find them. I'm pretty sure of that. They're in a little cupboard between them. Can't imagine they're going to last much longer.
Oh, that's a bit of a misplay there. Surely shouldn't have lost his life, but that molly is going to be massive. Gets them both. GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
CE in the meantime going out as well. Let's have a look where that is. No idea where that is. Completely missed that. Looks like that might have been OMG taking them out. Just coming out of Yaz. We know CE like to loot Yaz. Dig maybe getting involved as well. Yeah, 2 kills on the board, so maybe points shared all over here. Yeah, I think it might have been indeed OMG just going to continue around. And still waiting for the zone to come in. Them and GT, the only teams really outside now. Everyone else has found a position, whether it's a comfortable one or not. There's a lot of splits going on, and I like these couple of positions you mentioned here. QP gone for the split, leaving 2 just a bit further south on the edge of Gatka there, and Berkey actually on our own just south of the rest of Milky Way, just playing down from a hospital. And BHG actually have opted to stay hospital. What do you make of this position?
I've seen teams do it in the past, you know, and you do seem to, if it does get that George Pole shift, you're in zone for at least a phase 5 or 6, so it can pay dividends. I don't know what the line of sight is like though, coming out of the windows. I don't know if you can actually see too much or confirm much. But it will definitely get you into the late game if it is one of those Georgia Pole shifts.
Yeah, absolutely right. A few seconds. 40 seconds, we'll see where we are going to go, and that will just give these teams a bit more intel about what you want to see. No one still, of course, Skyline, the team who were opting to play Everest, obviously find themselves an early bedtime, but yeah, probably opens up a bit of room for these teams to play. Maybe NE, BT, potentially going to be looking for these areas. This is, when you're in their positions, these are the compounds, that's the hill you scout, isn't it? Seeing if anyone is up there, because that's where you're going to get rained on from teams. So, yeah, nice open area for some teams to move into.
Yeah, definitely. And just as we see, like we have only down to 12 teams, we have lost a couple, and it probably is going to be the end of the CES for the teams like Paul and Catalyst Esports. I don't think they've done enough in this final game. But we do get that shift, and it's 50% water, but it's literally the same shift as the other day.
That's disgusting as well. I mean, that is literally, the zone must be touching the blue there. That's how hard shift that is. And you're looking at the terrain here. There's the fields, there's the water. There's not much at all really to play. Luckily, there are those unoccupied compounds on that western side, but everyone in the vehicles, they're already on the move. They know how hard this is going to be to find a good position to play now.
Yeah, I'm looking at GT and Dig. They're going to be coming in from this northern side, so they may just play into Georgia Pole buildings, to be honest, once they do get into the zone. And I think the other day it did shift. It shifted quite high north, didn't it, into to this zone, kind of parallel in line with that crate, roughly was where it finished. So it'd be interesting to see where this zone actually does go, if it does shift south, but it's literally all the teams starting to try and find somewhere to play at the moment.
Yeah, and you mentioned those teams in the north, GT Dig, with that George Pole, because everyone moves out, with it being so close to the water on the north as well, you're expecting it to shift away from there as well. But, when you come in that late and you do have that sort of city area to play, it's not bad at all, to be fair. You can work your way in. GT coming across the bridge. Now, F2S are obviously in chat listening to you going up to the north. They're expecting that northern shift. We'll wait and see if it goes that way. But, yeah, we're watching GT, see if they want to really commit to this or just want to crash into a couple of signs, potentially. Maybe opting to play the coast a little bit, but... Yeah, no, it's a good little rotate from them. They have taken it really wide, but it is going to pay off for them. And I wonder if they have any intel that Dig are going to be following them in as well.
Yeah, I feel like I watched some of the teams that did play the Georgia Pole area in this circle the other day, and they did pick up a few kills as well, because obviously teams did tend to migrate into that area. And you're going to resupply any utility, any meds, any armor and stuff that you may have already damaged. So I don't think it's a bad play at all, to be honest.
No, it is a really good little spot. Whilst we've got a second, we'll see if we can get the leaderboard updated. I think, that is now looking correct. So we can see 38 points is currently the cutoff, with Milky Way just sneaking in from that previous game, having a good third or fourth place, whichever. I can't remember how they ended up there, with Dig actually dropping down. You mentioned they were in 7th. They are now... actually, they do have more kills. I can't remember what the tiebreaker is on Twire, but we'll have a look into that. But yeah, New Era, 4 points below them. And obviously, they are still around just yet. So it's them and OMG really contesting for the spot. But 4 points is going to be a big ask, especially when... Sorry, Dig are coming in late, aren't they? In the north.
Yep, in the north, yeah. They're coming in on that north side. But you also got to look... If you look up to the leaderboard, you'd probably say the top 4 are probably safe here. But yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, all them spaces... Literally 3-4 points between them.
It's nothing at all, really, is it?
No, so anything can happen. So these teams really are going to be trying to stay alive here. And if you actually look, FSS and GT are very close together here, and they're 5th and 6th in the leaderboard, joint on points.
Let's go straight back over to this and see what we can see. Gugoi just holding the stairs. I don't know if they have much intel. Clearly aware that someone at Ulysses has been looking this way, but the rest of F2S, as you mentioned, just shifted away, and there's that shift. Yeah, you called it. That's fantastic. And actually, the teams who need the points, GT, NE, Dig, if they can make it across and find a spot, are going to be laughing here.
Yeah, they are. And I don't know if you're on board with this, but Gregory was basically holding this building, waiting for Walsh to come up the stairs, had a Molotov in hand, but somehow threw it at himself. Didn't actually get it round the corner and put himself on fire. And it's just been found there, and it's all gone wrong for F2S Gregory here, as they aren't going to be able to get the revive onto him, and it is going to be a point going in the way of the main competitor for one of these spots in the top 8.
Just Walsh, you can't find him. Looking for everywhere in the smoke. There we go. No, and he's the solo, and that gives you so much room to work with. When you know you've flushed that solo out, or the duo playing sort of split, it does give you a bit of peace of mind, to be fair. And yeah, F2S, the rest of them aren't in a bad spot. I feel like the compound they're in, it's not ideal, but you do have that hill to work with across the road if you can make it that far, if you can jump ahead of teams. So yeah, I don't think we've seen the end of them just yet. I'm sure might be in a position to pick up a few more points, but it's these teams like OMG and Dig. Do they have the caliber of players and just the mental strength to get these points on the board and not crack now when it really matters?
100%, and as you see, Dig are actually now rotating. They've just come over the bridge. They're getting a few shots taken down by NE, but they are going to stay all alive for now, but they're going to need a few shifts from this zone and a bit of help, I think, to get later into the game, as they're pretty much gatekept on that side.
Yeah, Pure's just holding in the north here, just watching, all eyes on them, just trying to get them. And any just want to clear the side by the looks of things. If you can clear that northern side, you're expecting this to pull down south a little bit, but they know they've got positions free behind them to work with, so they can sort of work their way into the zone here if they deal with these guys on the north. And obviously no idea who this is, but maybe recognising if they can get Dig out, that's a massive point jump for them for sure.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously we won't know, but if these players in this lobby actually are looking at the leaderboard and looking at those teams around them to know who they need to get out, and if they see them in the kill feed, are they actually going to get aggressive and try and take matters into their own hands?
I don't know. Obviously, knowing yourself, I'm sure you'd be keeping up every kill, knowing who you need to beat, who you need to jump ahead of. But at the same time, maybe blissful ignorance may be the way forward. Just play your game. Don't get too bogged down on the leaderboard. Just play aggressively. Play how you want to play, and maybe that's the better style for some of these teams.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there definitely is an element of just playing your game. If you get too bogged down, like you said, you can maybe start to overextend, or you try that bit too hard to try and find kills and end up ultimately capitulating, if you like. So, yeah, there's definitely a fine line. I'm interested to see what Dig are actually doing here on this northern side. They're just driving around. I'm not sure if they're trying to bait to try and get peaks or what, but I'm not quite sure how they're playing it. But the circle shifted. It's still north again.
Yeah, I'm just watching down the
yeah,
south.
quite favourable.
Guetta, the last two members up. QP now want to rain some shots down onto them, or rain some utility. If that's a nade, that could be massive, and Lizard finds the opening knock, and that's just going to allow them a bit of time to work with here. You can see how bunkered up they are with the vehicles. That one's going to hit TS14, going to find him as well. That is huge. Now the other members just getting out that bowl. They recognise they're in a lot of trouble if they, if more utility hits them here.
Yeah, and they get some tags in the back here from F2S. They're going to try and scab away these kills for much needed points for F2S. QP and AG don't really need the points, but they're going at it now. Pepiugi getting a few tags, but nothing quite committing. Lizard's going to go for this little flank on the right-hand side here.
Yes, nice play. Major Ghost moving up. Spot at the time. Does take him low, but found in return there. And yeah, surely OMG. F2S, do they have the angles on this? BG just continuing round. The smokes are up really nicely, actually. The flashes, that sort of defensive flash, just to provide themselves a bit of time to try and get these reses is really nice. But I love this Agüeta just regrouping, playing smart, just dipping away from these flashes, doing everything they can as the smokes dissipate. Find one there, get a point on the board. Not that it mattered, well, 5 points on the board already. Just delayed that res. Spray through the smoke isn't going to do anything. And let's keep eyes on Dig, actually. I think we should probably go back to the knock. They have lost two. But yeah, QP on the return. They found one. It's all on Lizard to do something. But OMG now are piping up as well.
Yeah, and OMG are one of the teams that maybe a little bit too much to do in Game 4. But if they do have a huge game here, anything is possible. So they're going to need to try and get as many points as they can.
Yeah, you think, I don't know, what would you say? Probably 8 points you want to be sort of comfortable. A couple of placement already. Yeah, 2 up. They're in the zone, so at least they've got that going for them. Agüeta are going to have to leave Pepiugi behind, so it's all on Lizard to run in. Maybe I'm going to try and capitalise on this, but everyone else now comfortably in the zone. GT let's talk about their split, because they're pretty much hogging this whole side of George to themselves, and it's working out really well for them here.
Yeah, they're not really being contested or had anything too much apart from the Gregor who was there when they initially arrived in this location. So yeah, they're pretty happy and chilling. I do think the zone probably will shift away from them though in the next few phases, so they will have to probably move, I would think. Really nice play from Dig. I'm not sure they did lose 2 on their pull up, but they've managed to get themselves a nice little spot in zone, just to the east side of the zone.
Yeah, this is one of those spots you probably can stay in for a little bit of this, especially with this zone moving in. BHE obviously lost one already. BT going to be trying coming up that hill, but probably Hospital is going to be the main area to crash here. You think any... Maybe they want to capitalise on Dig. I think they did find one of the kills on Dig. BHE, I think, stole one away as well, so maybe that's the position to play. But now, all of a sudden, NE find themselves caught in between a lot of teams here, and I don't know if they even have the vehicles right with them to earn. No, yeah, they do have a bit to work with at least. So, you know, where would you be looking to crash if you were them here, or would you be looking to sort of fight your way in?
I think you've got to fight your way in. You can't scout from where they are. It's going to be playing pretty blind, as Lizard does find OMG Law. But yeah, you can't scout much, and any hard cover you're going to think is probably taken. So yeah, you're going to be trying to take a fight with somebody, you'd think, and maybe play a crash if you can.
Yeah, let's see what they want to do. They're getting in the vehicles already, prepping them. 1.5 minutes on the clock. You've got a while before this does really have to shift out, or they really have to move, but they're going to get as many vehicles as they can by the looks of things. Dig
they took shots down onto Dig when they did crash, and they know that a couple of them, they may know they're a 2-man, so they may opt for that crash, but it looks like they're going straight into GT here, and Walshy finds 2, and that is not what New Era needed, as they're sitting currently in 10th place. They need points in this game, and they're down to just Jay and Bolby, and they get taken so low there, just about get away with their life. 12 HP onto Jay, only got 1 point, and they need to stay alive.
Yeah, I think they are just going to do it here. I don't know if GT really have the minerals to push around here, and it's M-Way pushing in. Where have they come from? I didn't even remember.
I don't even know.
They were nowhere near here before. Looks like they've gone the whole way round the hill there, and BT have opted to choose to push onto TDT. We're going down into that fight just now as well. Keep eyes on this, and this is just mutual destruction. TDT losing 1, BT 1 as well, so it's a 2-on-2 going into this fight. TDT pushing up the stairs. I don't know how BT have managed to get above them, having crashed his compound. The Util's coming down the stairs. Actually, sorry, TDT 3-man. Just in position to try to get some nades and Utility up onto that top deck where BT are, but there's the first one. Doc,
Ignade.
So much work. He's had a really good day today, I feel.
Yeah, he played really well yesterday as well. He's actually been knocked there, unfortunately, through one of the windows from Hospital, but they are going to get the revive onto him. But yeah, he's had a really good lower bracket for TDT.
Yeah, both teams just biding their time, going to get those reses, but Jubbly surely going to go down there. The push is going to come out. Doc only just back on his feet with that med. So BT now have the high ground and probably the advantage here, but they can't overexpose themselves because Nata is going to be perfect. And that molly, that could be lovely. Oh, just very close. Fortunately not going to do enough there, but Doc's coming up the stairs. But as soon as you peek over here, BHE are going to try and punish you.
There we go. Doc doing really well, cleaning up BT, going huge for his team. Just about survives the onslaught that is from BHE, from Hospital, and they're actually in zone here, so they're going to be really happy. And I mean, I don't know. They were 13 points away before this game. Is it too much? They're on 5 points now.
We've seen bigger things happen, so let's wait and see what they do. All the rest of the team's trying to make their way in. GT have moved quickly. I like this play as well. F2S have pushed up onto that hill. We mentioned that a little bit earlier, but Anthology now the solo member, and I don't know if he's got much left in the tank as a solo. Looking towards the last 2 NE members, and that could be massive if he gets them out. OMG as well. Diablo down to half health at least here. That's TDT putting shots down. That nade, is that going to be far enough? Might be nice. No, not quite far enough from F2S. Diablo's just, he's pretty central, to be fair, as far as this zone goes. You couldn't ask for a much better position to play here, but you know, it's such a tricky one to hold or really get any more points on the board from here.
Yeah, it really is. I just want to pick up here. Obviously, we do see Bolby going down, so that is NE just down to J, and he is trying to rotate trying to find something in zone to try and keep his team in the game and try and get some placement points. But he's going right into the form of Anthology. He's got the molly in hand. Doesn't connect on the molly. It's just Jay does push up there.
Oh, lovely shots.
Big shots down from Anthology. But what I wanted to pick up was Benzo here. We saw Emway, right? They crashed the whole of Georgia Pole. If you look, remember in the first Miramar, he was sitting on his own in the centre zone.
It was, yeah.
He's doing the same again here. I don't know if it's maybe some sort of strategy here for Emway, just to get, maybe when they don't have much to play or they don't see something that they can crash, they just send someone into the centre zone.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure, but he's still alive and he's still getting placement points as all these teams start to fall around him.
Yeah, and, doing the work here. GT as well, doing some work on the north side. Dig are trying to get this last res. I don't think they've done enough here. Three kills and a couple of placement points may well be enough. We'll have to wait and see. But actually, they're going to find Townie as well. That could be massive if they get a flush on that. But Velton goes straight down as well. Wizzy is going to be found as well. Sulis picking up those. And the res definitely possible now as well. And GT holding this north side now really well. They had the position to work with and have really fought well to hold this position.
100%. They're doing really well, and they're definitely going to be going to the grand finals next week. That is for sure. But the one thing that is not sure is F2S, MW, and TDT. F2S probably done enough, I'd say. They've got 2 kills on the board in the top 4. They're already quite high up. But Mway and TDT, these teams were right down there or thereabouts. If TDT can come away with a win here, they could actually make top 8.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's amazing because it feels like we've been speaking about them so much. It feels like they've done loads of work here, but it just unfortunately hasn't worked out quite that way. But they need to be thinking about moving soon. GT, we can see them swarming this way, going to try and flush out this house. Whether they know someone's here or not, we'll have to wait and see. But common practice to just flush these buildings, make sure they're free, and then you work your way into the middle, don't you? You work towards that hill, you go across the road, and if you can deal with TDT, it's a win in the bag for sure. 4v2, maybe you get stabbed here, but maybe lose a couple of members. But I don't think those 2 solos have enough work to do. So you're looking at TDT to cause a bit of an upset, and it's all really on them. Make or break time here.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really see any viable way to get out of this compound into zone, and that might be what they need. They should really be moving off on that. If they've got anything, there we go. Doc's
TDT,
straight in the car. Yeah, TDT got the knock onto GT, and Doc's straight up on the ridge. And this is the only chance they've got to get out of this compound, and it's going straight to the drive.
Well, the slowest run over. Yeezy's pulling up and the drive-by. He shoots his own teammate. Oh, but look at this! Oh my god, what's happening?
Oh my god, Siolis is down. The car's actually knocked Siolis. And the 2 solos are actually going at it here together. MW versus F2S. Nades good from Anthology. And this could be huge for Mway.
He's got the high ground. He's trying to move up on him. You can't overextend over that hillside. He knows it as well. He knows GT are coming back up to 3 as well, and you just want to say, boys, just work together here. You go that way, you go that way. Pinch GT, see if you can do something. But GT are just going to wait this out now, I think. Here in this util at least, just going to let them do their thing.
Definitely, and you would love to just see if they did just do that, a team if you like, against the 3-man that is GT, but I can't see that happening. Anthology really wants to get Benzo out by the looks of it. But if they both just looked over this ridge, GT have got a cross.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, you probably, it's a solo, don't you? And you're thinking, that's a 2-point kill if you can get it. So, it is a massive one indeed. Benzo taken down to half health. Maybe not have much in the way of meds. It's going to try and get that first aid off. Does just about. And yeah, GT are swarming here, and now it's just a fight for 3rd. And Benzo's going to move on this actually, whilst Anthology's in the smoke, recognising where he is, and himself a nice second here if he plays this smart. Sounds like Sulis is coming around the side though. They're all sort of isolating Anthology. I'm not really sure. Oh no, spotting him now, surely. And just like that. 1-2. Clean it up. 15 kills.
That's huge there for Benzo there, because I think he actually got the kill on Anthology. So he got the kill point, and he also got the extra placement. Yeah, he did. He got the kill. So that could be them getting into top 8 with just that last... Well, they're definitely going to be in after that, because they were 8th going into that game. 2nd place couple of kills is definitely surely going to be enough.
Yeah, when you think BT out relatively early, Skyline didn't see much from them. So, you know, these teams at the top not taking many points away. Of course, GT really going to jump up probably into top 4 there, I think. But yeah, Milky Way. Could that be enough? Could that be enough to hold them in there? I think probably will. Looking at the rest of the leaderboard, we will get that updated and in chat as soon as we can. But yeah, absolute great night of action from some of these teams.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. Honestly, some great plays. Team of the night for me, I'll probably have to go with GT tonight. I thought they played really well. Yeah, I think did they get 2 wins in the end tonight? Definitely got 1, but they played some really good PUBG tonight.
Yeah, and coming in really hot in the end there, you know, really working their way into it, and maybe didn't have the best of days yesterday, but just showing what they can do here, and yeah, fantastic work from them and Skyline. Massive games indeed. BHE as well, especially proven, you know, why they're in this competition, why they're playing at this level. So, you know, going into next week, those teams are going to be, you know, soaring high with confidence, and rightly so.
Yeah, definitely. No, looking forward to grand final. It's going to be a great event, and yeah, hopefully get to see some new teams or some different teams up at the top and grabbing some cash.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. So, yeah, without further ado, we are going to call it a day. We will be back on Monday for the grand finals. We've got a mix of the 4 of us, of course, you, me, Silencer, and CC. We're all going to be jumping around once again to bring you all the action. So, yeah, you don't want to miss that again on YouTube as well. If you want to go and sub to that as well, we're trying to build that a little bit, as Twitch is being a bit of a pain. So yeah, please do feel free to go and jump in there and watch from there. You better quality on there as well, so if you fancy that. But yeah, thank you very much, Zab. It's been a pleasure casting with you.
Pleasure as always. Thank you very much. Cheers.
It's been fantastic. Everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy PCL over the weekend, and we'll see you back here Monday bright and early for the grand finals. Take it easy.
Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again. Just run away with me, darling. We'll get real lost. We'll get real lost again.